Mellow lo-fi, you know how it is. Okay, good. That's preferable. We can just deal with it like radio. Ah. Oh no!
Okay, there I
not
am.
fair.
Okay, wait.
I just sound like I'm talking to myself.
Welcome to Zep's only radio show. So wait, let me actually. Oh, there we go. Okay, sounds good.
It's
welcome
me.
in, guys.
I never get bored of seeing myself.
Oh man. So
that was a career I wanted to get into, was radio. I always thought I was going to be on radio.
With a voice like that.
Yeah, exactly. With a voice like that.
No, I can hear it actually. Wait, maybe I can close my eyes and you can talk to me real gentle in a minute or so. But first, let's do an audio check, because right now there's not so many folks in here. We're just, slowly starting it up, probably for the first 10 or 20 minutes. Especially since I'm not really used to streaming at that time of the day. So, guys, Capsic and Turka are also here, already here. So good to see you. Turka, thanks for being a mod tonight.
Pulling double duty during the day and at night.
Crazy enough that I do
Overtime pay.
But Turka, yeah, they totally deserve. Plus benefits for working during the night, you know.
Exactly. It's time and a half at night.
Gonna be a very expensive stream. So let us know if my voice, Zep's voice, and the music kinda make sense to you. Like, is Zep not loud enough? Am I not loud enough? Is the music too loud? Please let me know.
I always ask my stream that. How's it going, Trey? I always ask my stream that, like, how's the audio? And they always say fine. And then I listen back to my audio from last night.
It was fucking shit.
It was terrible. I was so loud and the game was so quiet. I was just like, I hate this. Yeah. Just like, but I guess we have a lot. We don't have the same tolerance for imperfections that our audiences do. We're perfectionists.
At least when it comes to audio. I mean, even for you, probably audio is important, as is in general. For me, of course, the quality of the video is also important, even though it's a music stream, but still. I guess.
I look like a black hole? What does that even mean?
Guys, just because you're always mean to each other and to the mods doesn't mean you have to fuck with Zep already. He's in here for 5 minutes and he already wants to leave again.
You could be mean to me, it's fine, I'm used to it. Do you think my guys are nice to me? No.
No, totally not. Okay, Turka, thanks for letting me know. I think I turned him up a bit, but I hope the music is not too loud now. I'm actually tune that a bit down, because I want to hear it as well. It's exactly what I need right now, these chill lo-fi vibes in the background, having my tea. I'm super tired, guys. I think you even can see that. You can see that I look like a ghost, man.
They don't usually have a camera that close to your face, so now they see it.
Yeah, that's actually how I always look, guys. I mean,
they have far away.
They have the zoom command, right? They have the zoom command, so.
Did you ever see? I watched a video the other day, and it was this lady who she did some sort of tutorial about makeup or whatever. I don't know, didn't care. But it came up on Reddit, and in one side of her room, when she was lit in a certain way, she was like perfectly clear skinned, and then she turned to the other side and she was wrinkled as fuck. It was like a map of Texas on her face, and I was just like, lighting's important, guys. Lighting's important.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy how much light in general can change. There was also this video. Oh, by the way, sorry. Obviously Grill. Thank you so much, man, for the 2 months. Do appreciate that. Saying Zep can handle meanness. He's an extra hard-boiled egg. There we go. You know, it's already starting. And Trey
It's
also
true. It's true.
welcome him from me. Also, I think there's no sub-alerts right now in this. Oh no, they are. Okay, there we go.
We don't want your distractions, subs. Just save it for another time. Do it later. Do it off stream. We don't care.
Fuck it. I mean, does this look like a professional stream to you? Certainly
It's pretty
not.
professional.
I don't know. Maybe I'm too self-critical, but I'm always like, wait, why is, for example, like the thing I put around me is gray. Why is it black for you?
I don't know.
See?
That was your choice. Why isn't one black and one white? I mean, you're Zebra Man, not Grabra Man.
Man, I have no idea. The creative choices I make at 3 a.m. in the morning are not always choices I can stand behind when I am faced with them like later in the day.
They're always worth it. Zebra Man and Zebra Man, exactly.
Perfect combination. That's actually what we should have called the stream. I was looking for a title earlier and I couldn't come up with anything.
What did you call it in the end?
Well, we had like the stream with Maria, right, with the artist a while ago, and I called it like the living room welcomes episode 1, right? So this is basically the living room welcomes episode 2. No. Hope you feel honored, Sam, that it's you who.
I do. I need to. I want to do something similar, and I'm struggling on a name for ages.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted Chat and Shite with ZepXP to get the Scottish connect, but like, there's someone who has a chatting shit podcast. And I'm like, is it too close? Is it too close, or does it not matter because they're on Spotify and they only have like 10 followers? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, now imagine, it's stupid to talk about this that way, but like sometimes when I make decisions like that, also for example when the whole copyright thing came up with music on Twitch, right?
Oh yeah.
A lot of people were just like, fuck it, we'll just wait until we get the first strike, and then we put everything right, and then it's just one strike. So what, you know? Same with like people doing restreaming on YouTube, right? Officially as a Twitch affiliate or partner, you're not allowed to do that. You even have like a clause in your contract that content you stream on Twitch has even to be Twitch exclusive for 24 hours. So
Yep.
yeah, stuff like that, and a
You
lot of
can't
people just
upload
shit
highlights
on
of
that.
it 24 hours.
Yeah, exactly. On YouTube, for example, people just shit on that, you know. But I always try to keep in mind, like, as stupid as that sound, and as far in the future that might be, even if it happens, even, you know, is like, what happens, right? For example, with you and your idea for that podcast, if you name it like that, and for some reason you explode, you know, and
Yeah.
you get like really big or fairly big with that podcast, you make money with it, you know, maybe whatever, you know, like there's like a business of some sorts behind that, and and that's the point where these people show up, because that's the point where they come back at you and be like if you only have 10 viewers as well, you know, people want to be like, fuck it, like they try to imitate us, we're better than that. And then if you make money with that and they don't, then they come back and be like, hey, it was our idea and we can prove it, and then you're fucked.
Yeah. Well, with it just being a name, I don't know, but yeah, you never want to, especially like if it's yourself, you don't want to break the rules of Twitch, because you already know, you've already like had direct dealings with Twitch. You had a Twitch employee in your chat once drop a whole bunch of subs on your 24-hour stream, I remember.
True, yeah.
Like, you're definitely on Twitch's radar, whereas me, I just sneak under the radar. I've been streaming music on my stream for like a year. Even just because it doesn't go to VOD, it doesn't mean I can get away with it. But I do, because their technology isn't built for detecting live music. When it does, that might be a problem. But
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, right? That, for example, you as a streamer who streams copyrighted music sometimes, maybe I heard
all the time.
You're here now. You just said my stream is under the radar. Your stream is under the radar. This one's not. And now you come on here and you talk all that stuff.
It's like walking into the police station and being like, "Yo,
Yeah.
I was just dealing some drugs." Yeah, maybe not the best. Let me rephrase that. Maybe potentially sometimes, by no fault of my own, copyrighted music gets played on my stream. So occasionally, you know.
Of course, you try to take care of it immediately.
Oh yeah, 100%. Hey, look, sometimes you listen to a playlist on Spotify, and then Spotify's just like, "Yo, your playlist ran out. I'm just gonna give you music," and then it doesn't care. It doesn't care what's copyrighted and what's not. It's just gonna be like, "Bap, you're done. It's over."
Yeah. Wasn't there this when the whole affair started? There was this. Was it World of Warcraft? I think it was a World of Warcraft stream, where there was a sound effect of wind being played in the background of the game, right? During I don't know, in some kind of level or environment. And the thing is that sound effects are also copyrighted. A lot of people don't know that. So he got a copyright strike because he played World of Warcraft and that sound effect played in the background.
Damn. That's mad. Like, I
yeah,
know that some games
crazy.
have like licensed music on their soundtracks, but sound effects?
Yeah. I mean, nowadays, now with the internet and everything, you can get like sound effects everywhere. It seems weird, but I mean, go back to the days where people still had to produce these sound in the studio, you know? Like the Wilhelm scream or stuff like that. Like if you go on to a professional level, of course. It makes kind of sense to have these sound effects copyrighted.
Yeah, well, this is how people made money, you know? They made sound effects.
It's a job.
Someone slapped some coconuts together, called it a horse, and now forevermore they get royalties of like 40 quid a year or something for their coconut clapping.
What do you think the guy who let me find out. Maybe we can find that out. Like there's the Wilhelm. Do you know what the Wilhelm scream is?
Yeah, it's like the scream that gets used in like every film when someone screams.
I don't know where it was originally from.
No, I remember it for like I know my first experience of it was in Star Wars. It pops up. Someone gets thrown off a barge in one of them. Yeah, it's in Star Wars. It's used in like every single Star Wars film.
Yeah, true. But so the first usage of this, it's a sound effect. It was first used 1951 in the movie Distant Drums. That was the first use of the Wilhelm scream.
But did they license it or did they make it copyright free? I think
they
it must be
licensed
copyright free.
I think.
Oh, did they?
Or is it?
People
no,
pay
it's a
for
stock.
the
Well,
scream?
for now it's a stock sound effect, I think. But I wonder if it's copyrighted. The sound is named after Private Wilhelm, a character in The Charge at Feather River, a 1953 western in which the character gets shot, and they used the same effect. Yeah, it's in the Warner Brothers stock sound library. So basically, everybody who makes a film at Warner Brothers can use that movie, that sound effect. Maybe that's why it's always used in their movies.
Yeah, I guess. Interesting.
Now I wonder how much money
is that guy still alive? How is that guy still alive? The guy who played Private Colonel Wilhelm?
Oh no, it was used there, I think, but they didn't use it. I mean, it was first used 1951, right?
He might be still alive.
That's just why it's called the Wilhelm scream. Movie Distant Drums. In a scene from the movie, soldiers are wading through a swamp in the Everglades, and one of them is bitten and dragged underwater by an alligator. The recording was entitled "Man Getting Bit by an Alligator and He Screamed." I love that addition. And he screamed.
Not very like catchy, is it? Wilhelm is a lot rolls off the tongue.
Wilhelm scream. I mean, you could have called it, I don't know, Patrick Scream.
Yeah, but his name was Wilhelm, so
Okay,
it works. Yeah. It works. Yo, how's it going, guys? How's it going, Trax? How's it going?
Billy is in here. Podidigitar is back. Good to have you. Just so, if you ask yourselves where this is going, nowhere. We're just rolling with it. So the general idea for this,
chat shite.
Yes, it's just to sit together and have a good chat, and we'll see where it goes. I mean, also works for me perfectly because I'm still super tired, and I finished my tea now, You having a beer,
Terrible.
right?
Yeah, I'm drinking some Cairngorm Gold, and I've got some Hobgoblin Gold in the fridge.
Never heard
I
of
like
those.
my gold. I like my
Are those
gold ales. Are good.
Scottish beers?
Cairngorm is. Cairngorm Gold is a Scottish beer. I've Hobgoblin somewhere in England.
Okay. From the Isles.
Yeah, from old Blighty.
Do you drink only beer from the Isles or from Scotland, or like how's the situation getting beers from Europe, like the rest of Europe?
I used to drink a few European beers, but honestly, the beers in Scotland are so good that like I've got a brewery locally. I've got a brewery quite local, and so if I'm not buying in like the shops, I'll go there and get my beer because it's just so good. It's like really top-notch stuff, and there's just and also like me and Mish try to live quite environmentally consciously. It doesn't impact everything that we do, but if we can buy locally, we will.
I see.
So you got to think that if you import a beer from the continent, it's that beer's got a way more carbon footprint than if I walk down the street and buy one from the local brewery. So
fair enough.
We've always been pretty eco-conscious for the most part. We tried to be.
Okay. Where else is that having an impact on your life, or where do you think does this have the biggest impact on your life? Apart from you have to walk down the street to get your beer.
Just so much for our life is sorting recycling. I guess is part of it. And then like there was a time when not so much recently, but we used to like certain recyclables we couldn't recycle locally would package and send off down south to get processed, and we used to be very like we've fallen out of our good habits in some ways. But I don't know, like we used to, all of our energy came from a green energy provider, which is quite easy in Scotland because most of our electricity is green. Yeah, we just, I don't know, Mish has always been very environmentally conscious, like so much so that a lot of the plastics that she gets are always recycled, or you know, it seems to be the first thought that goes through her head before buying anything, and it's kind of rubbed off on me, unfortunately.
Now that's interesting. Like, do I understand that correctly? Like, that's something I never thought about. Like, how the garbage situation, and I'm not talking about the people, I'm talking about the actual garbage, is in Scotland, right? Or in other countries in general. Like in Germany, I mean, for me, it's quite normal that everything just gets recycled. That's just how it is, you know. Like, we do have like in normal households, we have like 3 different kinds of garbage that we separate and everything. And I never wondered if it's the same. I just figured, yeah, of course it's the same everywhere else, you know.
It's quite recent. Our area recently switched to like, so like we have 3 different bins now.
Okay.
But for the longest time, we used to like collect our different recyclables and take them away to a recycling plant to get recycled, and that would be unusual out of you know, people locally. You know, most people would just chuck it away. But I don't know, it plays on my mind where I'm like if I got like a plastic bottle and I went to throw it in the bin, like I would just be thinking about how like I spent like half an hour drinking from this bottle, and I'm gonna put it in this bin, and it's gonna sit like causing environmental damage the next like 200 years or something stupid. Like it's very easy to be ignorant of those things.
Definitely. Yeah.
But the second that you start thinking about it, it's very hard to not give a shit.
It's also so easy to take care of these things, right? It's not like with, I don't know, I do get that people, for example, if they try to live vegan, for example, or as vegan as possible, it can be quite a challenge to figure out what to eat, what not to eat. There's like so many little details where there's like non-vegan elements in food where you normally would think it's totally vegan, why not? Like, but I get that, you know, that's difficult, but like, where's the harm in just taking your bottle and throwing it away somewhere else, you know?
I know.
What I mean, or trying to I don't know, not buy bottled water in general. I mean, always depends how good your tap water is. But in Germany, basically, you can drink the tap water everywhere. I think I haven't bought a single bottle of water since I live in this apartment, you know.
I occasionally, just if I'm like caught off, like if I go to the gym and I forget my my reusable bottle, then I'll buy a bottle of water on the way and feel bad about it. But at least I feel bad about it. But I know, like, my mum lives in a part of Ireland where they had a terrible breach of the drinking water, where basically the water was undrinkable for, I think it was a couple of years. And so basically this entire section of Ireland were just living off of bottled water, because they could still wash with the tap water, but they were like, everyone in this area was buying crates of plastic bottles like endlessly. Luckily they had a recycling infrastructure before we did here, so they could actually recycle them. But you know, there's still going to be a percentage of the population who just don't give a shit and just
definitely
chuck them out, unfortunately.
Trey, thanks for the lurk. So wait a second, I had to think about something earlier, but I completely forgot, man. I completely forgot. I'm still not there yet.
Wait, so you okay? There's a reason you're not there, and we almost talked about this. You're sleeping bad? What's going on?
Yeah, man. Well, not bad necessarily. I just have a very fucked up sleeping schedule lately, which is, well, most of the time. I mean, it's been like that for like maybe 6 weeks now. Like a little bit before Christmas probably. And I mean, I'm doing good on this sleeping rhythm, if it works. But like, I go to bed at like 3 or 4 a.m. usually right now. Then I sleep until like 10 for 6 or 7 hours. And then I start streaming, or I like, sometimes I have, like, Tuesdays I have a day off, so I just sleep in as long as I want, and then I got that kind of energy going for me for the rest of the week. Turka says it, night owls unite, you know.
I always regret, like, I'll end up sleeping in on a Saturday because I'm making up from all the sleep I missed during the week, and then I just feel like I'm wasting my day off, and I'm just like, I get frustrated with myself. Like, I'm lying there in bed, like, trying to sleep, and I'm just like, you're wasting so much time, Zeb. You could be out there playing video games. I know.
Well, but I mean, your sleep is really, really, really important, right? So I would never say if you're sleeping in because you need it, not just because you're tired or you have been out drinking the day before and you're just still wasted, you know. I mean, that's another story, but if you really need the sleep and your body gets it, just take it, you know. Just cherish it. Cherish it.
I need to get back into it. I used to, like, for a while there, I said to myself, right, I'm gonna be better about sleep. I'm gonna go to bed an hour before I intend to sleep. I'm gonna read for an hour. You know, get away from screens, all that jazz. It lasted like half a week. I'm just back to.
Yep.
I mean, I'm usually in bed around about midnight. I usually fall asleep about 1, which isn't too bad. But I still struggle.
Depends on when you have to wake up.
I have to get up at 8:30. But it's such a I find it such a struggle. There's a good amount of time to sleep, but it's such a struggle.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's different, right? I mean, for me, I don't know, how much sleep would you need to be like perfectly fine? I mean, if you sleep too long, you're tired as well, right?
I think if I slept at midnight and got up at 8:30, I'd feel good.
7:30, yeah, that's similar for me. Like 7 hours, 7:30, 7.5 hours would be probably best.
Yeah. But like this week has been pretty disturbed because we got our 2 new cats last week? It must have been last week. And they've been quite nocturnal. And our house is upside down, so our bedroom's under the living room, which is where they reside. Okay. And so at night they're just like, it's time to party, and they just start tearing around the living room, and it's just like, bruh.
How old are they? Are they like kittens or older?
Yeah, they're like kittens. So they're It must be 10, 11 weeks, maybe 12 weeks. So they're very young, and they're still getting
Cuties.
used to humans because they came from a colony.
Okay.
But they're getting there. But last night last night was the one night where I wasn't sleeping because I drank a shit ton of coffee in the afternoon, and the caffeine hadn't left my system yet, and so I was still like buzzing. But they just went to be spayed and neutered, so they were passed out. So there was zero noise upstairs. I should have slept so well, but no, I was like, I'm still caffeinated. I'm gonna stay up for another 3 hours. Yay! Regrets.
Yeah. You think you might know better, you know, but well. well.
It's one of the
If it isn't the
It's one of those
consequence my
situations
own
where I
actions.
had enough coffee left in the jar that if, like, it could have been either 1 cup, no, it could have been a cup and a half, or I could have just shoved it all into the 1 cup. But it turned out it wasn't as little as I thought it was, and it was more like 2 or 3 cups worth of coffee. And yeah, when I drank it, I was like, this is actual rocket fuel. And yeah, it was still affecting me at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I was just like, I should have drank that fucking coffee. So bad.
Did you ever have like an overdose on caffeine?
Of caffeine?
Yeah.
No, I've always been quite good with my caffeine. I'll have a coffee in the morning and sometimes a coffee in the afternoon. Usually I do have a coffee in the afternoon these days. So I've been quite good. I remember a friend of mine's older brother drank a crate of Red Bull in one night and had a heart attack and had to go to the hospital.
Holy.
And that kind of
Okay, that's next level stupid. Like, what the hell?
There's always
Isn't
that
there
one...
a point where you realize it's too much? Where you're like, your heart is racing already like crazy, and you're like, yeah, maybe not drink another one.
There's always that one kid who has to do something exceedingly dumb so the rest of the kids learn the lesson. Like, there was this...
I mean, it's evolution, you know?
Exactly. The smart ones watch the not so smart ones suffer. We learn lessons. We take notes. But there's in my local town. I was chatting to someone. They were there was some like dealer who was like who lives near us, and they were like, oh yeah, the reason he walks kind of funny is because when we were kids, we also played chicken with cars, and he played chicken a little bit too good and got hit by a car. And had to like have spine surgery, and they all learned forevermore not to play chicken with cars. There's always just one kid that has to take one for the team.
Social Darwinism, basically.
Exactly. You need that lemming to push over the cliff, so you all know how high the cliff is, you know.
Well, I don't know if you need that, but it probably works like that. It probably works. Wait, Hilly, I really have to get used to reading chat at the same time. Here again. Hilly says, I go to bed at 9 p.m. as often as possible. I don't know how you do that, Hilly.
Hilly gets up at like 5, 6 in the morning, so she kind of has to.
But still then, it's super weird. I mean, you know, for me, it's not only to get back to the sleep talk again. Like, even if I wake up at 6 in the morning, I couldn't go to bed at 9. Just because it would feel wrong. I don't know why. Like, I have that internal clock that, like, midnight is midnight. You know? No matter when I wake up. If I wake up at 10, if I wake up at 4 in the afternoon. Like, midnight is just, like, midnight, you know? And I'm still awake for a few hours and then I go to bed. So I guess that's also why I couldn't have, like, a regular job. If I had a job where I had like a 9 to 5 and I would have to wake up at like 6 or 7 in the morning, I would just be a train wreck after 2 or 3 days, just because I would still be up until like 1 a.m. in the morning and then just sleep 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, but by like a week into it, you'd reprogram your body. Your body would be like, I'm dying. We gotta sleep early. You'll be like,
Maybe,
one
yeah.
night you'll be like, okay, I guess I'll sleep, and then that would get you.
Yeah. Eventually, you get used to a lot of things, and your body adapts. After.
Yeah, like I used to work. I worked jobs which went on until 10 o'clock, and then I would, you know, hang out and do whatever. Because you always want to do something after work for a while, so you end up like staying up until like 2, 3.
You don't want to just come home and go to bed immediately.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then, like, I've worked in bars, and I've ended up finishing work at like 4 a.m. and then being up until like 5, 6. You get used to those rhythms.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's always these crazy... Like, have you heard of this, how's it called? Basically, it's like intermittent fasting or something, just like with sleep. You know, like these sleep cycles. Yeah, like there's like these sleep cycles. I don't know how much science there actually is, or if it's just like people talking shit and selling some weird plans so they have something they can talk about, you know. But I guess they at least do base their opinions on some kind of scientific research. I don't know if it's like good scientific research.
Yeah, for sure.
But where they go like, okay, instead of like sleeping once for 7 hours, you sleep like for 4 hours during the night. You wake up at 4 in the morning, you do some stuff, then you sleep again from 9 to 10 for 1 hour only, and then you sleep again for like 2 or 3 hours during the afternoon or in the evening. And then there's like, of course, different plans, you know, like with like 4 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours, or only 5 hours once. And then there's like weekly plans where you sleep at the weekend, but not during the thing. I don't know. And supposedly that helps some people to be more productive and to, you know, to get better energy levels and I don't know, probably digest better and just be better human beings. You know, they just wake up in the morning after their 3-hour nap and they just are better human beings because of that.
Well, I remember I watched a video which talked about that historically, that like back in Victorian times, people would sleep for like 4 hours. They'd get up in the middle of the night. They'd all like some people would go visit their friends and stuff. They'd go have like a late night chat and hang out. Then they'd all go back to bed and sleep for another 4 hours. And that was their sleep cycles. And apparently there's like some evolutionary thing in us where having that intermittent sleeping is somewhat natural. But we've evolved to the point where we're like, it's more efficient to just sleep for 8 hours than sleep for 4, wake up and sleep for 4 more.
I wonder though, like, how did they come? Like, when you say like in the Victorian age, they did sleep for 4 hours, then were awake for a while, and then got to sleep again. Like, why? Do you know? Like, was there some kind of reason for that? Because I could see, and we're talking here just speculation right now. At least I think so. Because I mean, I don't have any numbers or any facts right now for you guys, but I could imagine that because of our capitalistic system, you know, like you have to work at a row, right? You have to work for like 7-8 hours straight with maybe some breaks in between. But there's like no way you can get a job right now where you sleep for 4 hours and then be awake, then sleep again for 2 hours and then be awake again. You know, you can't just sleep for 2 hours during your workday. So I wonder if that's something. I mean, Victorian age is also like before the industrialization. If maybe like sleep schedule, as soon as you had like an industry running on set time schedules and set working hours, etc., that's the point where you start to change your sleeping schedule.
Yeah. Well, they do have. I know in hot countries, don't they like have siestas? So they like.
True. Yeah.
They have 2 hours off in the middle of the day, and they go. We sleep. So, I guess it's different cultures of different ways around it. I need to look that video out because it was quite interesting.
Yeah. I really like that we got there. Like I did not think about that before. Like how these things are also maybe just, you know, like we just have that. We just sleep for 6, 7, 8 hours, whatever, once during the day, and then there's like maybe my grandparents they do like their 1 hour sleep during the day as well, you know, their midday sleep.
I could go a nap during the day. I think I'd be more
I
productive.
could go for a nap right now. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, that's something else entirely.
I mean, for me, for my normal day rhythm right now, I mean,
do you nap?
Like sometimes.
Are you a napper?
Sometimes. I'd say I am, but like I have to get used to it as well. Like if I would go for a nap right now for an hour and then wake up again and then we continue streaming, for example, I would be destroyed probably. I don't know if that would help or if that would actually just make me wake up and go like, ah shit, I just want to stay on the couch, you know.
I can never nap late. Like I could nap in the afternoon and be okay. But there's been times when I've been like, okay, I want to watch like the Super Bowl or like something that's really late on over here, like this a normal time in America. And I'd be like, yo, I'm gonna sleep from like 9 till 11, and then I'll get up at 12, and then I'll watch the thing until 5 a.m. and then I'll, you know, whatever. Never works. I always just feel more tired, or I just don't sleep.
Yeah.
It's just because it's out of rhythm. So it's just, I'm like, body, come on, we gotta sleep. We gotta watch the thing in a bit, and body's just like, nope.
Imagine you could just go like that. You could just actively fall asleep by concentrating.
Did you see this thing? Okay, we're getting to topical shit now. You see that thing about I don't know how much further it went, but there was this thing that was saying about Elon Musk like wanting to put microchips into people's brains.
Yeah.
I was like downloading, uploading memories and androids and stuff. It doesn't really faze me, but like if there was like a thing where I could like activate an app on my phone, which then tells my brain, you are shutting down in 1 hour. Like, I would give it to me. Give it to me now.
That is the most creepy thing I've ever heard. I mean, it's like, first it sounds good, but after 2 seconds of thinking about this, I'm like, I would already be fucked up with that whole like memory upload download thing. Like, I mean, imagine that thing being hacked and you have like memories. Wasn't there like a movie or a novel, a science fiction novel, where it's exactly about that, like about people having memories in their heads and they can't tell anymore if it's their memories or if it's other people's memories being downloaded into their brain, which is such a weird thought, right? To have like your whole reality is based on your memories. Everything you think is you is basically just a memory you just made, you know? So that would completely fuck with your sense of identity and everything. And now imagine
brains are built for that.
No, me neither. And now imagine you being shut off by somebody else. Imagine your phone being hacked and you just, I don't know, you're walking down the street and your phone tells you, your brain will shut off in 2 minutes. And you're like, wait, no, not now. I'm driving.
That's when you use the snooze function. Come on.
So let me stay awake until I can park my car.
Exactly. No, that's some dystopian shit. Maybe. There's got to be ways. Certain people having that sort of technology, like Elon Musk, will ruin it for everyone else. Like, if you gave it to someone who was like an actual biochemist, brain neurologist, you know, all that sort of stuff, who could actually have proper applications for it, great. But Elon Musk is just gonna be like, I'm gonna put Tesla marketing into your dreams, bitch. And I'm like, no, just fuck off to Mars already, please. Oh God.
Oh man. I wonder though how long it will take for that whole microchip thing. When I first heard it, I was like, okay, he's just talking shit again. Then I saw. Did you see that video where he did the presentation with the pigs?
No.
Okay, wait. So, first, let's hold that thought. We have something to do. Let me quickly get through chat because there's so much going on. Cautious is here. Welcome in. Since like half an hour or so, probably.
Hi, Cautious.
I mean, today is a bit of a different kind of stream. It might be that we are not always reacting to chat, etc. But always good to see that you guys talk to each other still, you know, like. And I try to get through everything. Okay, tracks are like was talking about regular stream schedule, a regular sleep schedule is a good thing. Probably
yeah,
true,
you have a regular stream schedule. You don't have a regular sleep schedule.
Men are creatures of habit, right? Or people or humans.
Beings.
Was there anything important going on? Or just kidding, chat.
Apologize to chat immediately.
Already did.
Chat.
They only get one.
Everything that you say is important. Don't listen to Amadeus.
It's just Zep's present. I'm not that, like, normally my mods are the mean ones, not me, okay? Oh, Total Recall. Right, put it Ichitar. Was it in Total Recall where the whole memory fuck up thingy happened? Yeah, right?
Yeah, I think so. And it fucks with them. But every time someone says Total Recall, all I think about is a three-breasted alien lady, and I get distracted. And then I think about how much more I prefer Running Man. Sorry, go on.
And here we have a perfect example of selected memory, guys.
I think that's probably one of the first moves I saw as a kid was probably Total Recall. I know the first one I saw was the changing room in RoboCop, because I remember rewinding that a few times, just being like, "That's pretty cool. I don't know why I like this so much." Oh, such a good movie. I watched RoboCop that long ago. It stands up. It holds up after so many years.
Haven't watched it yet. I think RoboCop.
I just watched RoboCop. It's good. A guy gets shot in the dick.
Right?
Pretty cool. Spoiler.
Sorry. What? Yeah, that was a spoiler. I wish I wouldn't have known that before watching the movie. Seriously. Was it? Which movie was it? Tokyo something. Tokyo Murder.
Tokyo Drift?
No. It was like this weird trash horror movie where there's this. I don't know how that happened, but like it's like a virus, and when people's limbs are being cut off, there's like weapons, like organic kind of weapons growing out of their arms, and they become zombies. I don't know. It's a super weird movie. Super weird movie. And there's also like this one scene where there's like one zombie lady, and she already mutated, but the guy doesn't see it. And I think she bites off his dick, and then he grows a machine gun out of his dick and shoots her or something like that. Everything you need to know about that movie.
I want to watch that movie now.
Figures. Okay.
But yeah, chat. Everyone watch RoboCop, and Running Man. Running Man's very good. Have you seen Running Man?
No, I haven't.
It's basically like.
Wait.
It's like sometimes the Hunger Games before the Hunger Games. It's good.
Sometimes I need to check the German titles because sometimes especially with these old movies, I watched them probably when I was a kid with my dad or something. If I watched them, and then I only know the German title if I want. Okay, in Germany it was called Running Man as well. But different title than the original. The original title is, hold your horses, The Running Man.
Oh, you guys dropped the. Oh my god, how am I gonna know what movie this is?
There's even this practice.
That's that German efficiency, man. That's that German efficiency. Does it need a the? No, get the fuck out of here.
There's a wait, I think that one's the one I wanted to show you. There's this practice in Germany of titling movies. We don't sub movies, we dub movies. You know, you can think about that what you want, but it's good, especially if you're younger, right? And they also changed the titles, apparently. Of course they did, if it's not a name or something. And oftentimes they change the title to something else, which is also English, because marketing-wise, it's better for like German audiences. You know, like I don't know, you have a movie about like a fantasy movie about a magical lion or something, and in English you call it something like, I don't know, Magical Journey of the Lion King, whatever. And then or in the original title, and then in German you just call it Fire and Flame or something like that, you know, like, because that's like words that most people still know maybe, and I don't know, like these two short words are better for the posters or something like that, and then you just release it like that, and you're like, why exactly did you do that? It's still English. Why did you just keep the original title then?
You're not even solving any like the problem.
Let's make
like,
it as
I'm excited to show you. Just make it a different English. I noticed this like when I'm doing things like GeoGuessr and like exploring different cultures. It seems that English permeates like every culture. Like every culture, like every place on Earth can speak a little bit of English, even if it's just like, okay, good, howdy doody. You know, like
Sail.
But yeah, exactly. But like in the English cultures, we don't really pick up. Yeah, that's a good example. Tracks. We don't pick up many we guess like we have a little bit of French and English, and I guess English is just like a hybrid of every language, isn't it? Like we have a bit of German in there of origin. We have a little bit of French. We have
I mean, same here.
Viking.
Same here. German. In German, there's also a lot of Latin, a lot of English, a lot of French, depending on where you live, more or less. Even some Russian and Polish influences on the east. In the east, so I think that's the reason or the thing with every language, at least in Europe, right? I mean, we are used to that. We are used to having, like, especially now with the EU, we don't really have borders in that sense. I mean, you can just
sorry, EU. What's that?
Yeah, I'm talking about us right now. Go to your corner, Zep. I'll tell you when we come back to.
I want to come back. Let me back.
Like just take you and go like, goodbye, Zep.
I just a really sad experience of Brexit.
Okay.
I was in Paris at the time when the vote was held. I missed the vote. But it's your damn fault. I was that 5%. But no, I was in Paris when the results were brought out.
Which is quite ironic if you think about it. That you were outside in the EU when they let you know you're out.
Yeah, and I was just like, it was so fucking sad because it was like one of my first times as an adult, like going away to a city on my own and like exploring. Well, not on my own. I'd been out with friends. They all fucked off like after a few days, and I was like, I'm gonna stay a few more days because I haven't experienced enough Paris yet. And they were just like, it was just like so sad for it to be like, while I was there looking around the city, which I'd just slowly fallen in love with over like a week, and for it to be like, yeah, this is all getting taken away from you. Fuck you, Scotsman. And no, we actually in Scotland, we voted, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland all voted majoritively against Brexit, but England voted for it. And so, because of the way the UK works, we all got dragged out. Scotland voted 60% stay, I think, if I remember rightly. Yeah, it was really sad.
Wait, but there's like so many different parts of the UK, and even if all of them vote against something, the moment where okay, but what like I haven't I didn't get into it too much when it was happening, so I just knew the end result, right? But is it because it was only 60% in those thingies, or was it like okay, these parts of the UK voted stay, but London says go, so we go?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, London voted to stay, but the way it worked, the way they set it up, there are certain votes in the UK which you need like a clear majority, which I think is like 60% or more. Brexit was done on a simple majority, so 51% would make it happen. Okay. And I think it got like 55% or something.
Which is such a like. How can
no,
you...
it wasn't. It was less. It was like 52%. It was 52%.
Like, how can you make such a big decision on such a small difference in votes? I mean, you just like, how can you, as a politician, and maybe I'm naive here, how can you do something when you know you're pissing off half of the population? Same with Trump, you know, like, or with the president's election. Like, the presidential elections are so stupid. You have like two candidates in the end, and you know if one loses, especially if it's a close call, which it mostly is, it seems, you're just gonna piss off the rest of the people, you know.
That's the thing, is like our politics in a lot of countries has devolved down to a two-party system, unfortunately. The UK came close to making it a three-party system with the Lib Dems many years ago. But then they joined power with the very party which they were against, and just destroyed all their reputation and just killed the chance for a three-party system.
Hilly just said something that just made me frown. Sorry, she said because career politicians don't actually care about people, where she's 100%. Probably right, but just the word career politician
Well, it's that that's the reason that Brexit happened at the end of the day is from money. If you deregulate parts of the UK, it allows other companies to come in to undercut things, to do things cheaper, to exploit labor. Like we lost all of our labor rights, essentially, our human rights, all got we no longer follow the European constitutions and human rights. We had to draft up our own, and we haven't. I don't think we even properly have any. You know, it was all just a. They say like it was like political freedom, and there's elements to that, but the truth behind it is there's no money in saying it's about political freedom. The money is saying, yo guys, if we get rid of the CEU and the Britain, you know, we can make some money here. We can make a few billion pounds.
But isn't that how's the situation right now for you guys over there? Like, do you look? I don't know how much you're into this, right? But like, do you look at the economic situation now and be like, yeah, Brexit, good thing, made some money, or because all I hear mostly from outside, and that also might be prejudiced. That's why I'm saying, is I always read these things like, farmer votes for Brexit, then loses his job because he sold all his fucking milk to France and now is wondering why he can't anymore, you know, or why it's gotten so much more expensive or whatever it was, you know, like just making an example here. I don't know if it was like that and if it works like that. I'm not too deep into politics, I have to admit, but like I read a few articles like that and I was like, really? You didn't like think about that before?
Even like, so when after the vote, immediately after, the majority of the headlines were there was so many interviews with people in the street in Britain like, oh, I just thought they were asking our opinions. I didn't think they'd actually do it. And many people used it as like they want us to say no. I'm gonna say yes, fuck them. You know, like they didn't take it seriously. People didn't think that it was a serious. And then the second it happened, they were like, wait, what?
Yeah.
They're actually doing it. So I think if you could turn back time now in Britain, they already said that most, like, there's a majority, I think it's like 75% of Brits would vote to stay if they were given the chance now. But because it's having a real impact on people's lives. Like, not long after they actually started to enforce Brexit, part of it was COVID, but part of it was Brexit, was that all of our shelves started to get a lot emptier, you know, like I could go down to the supermarket and there'd be aisles which were empty. And
crazy.
as a Brit, you never expect to see that. There's like, there's things you see in other countries and you're like, oh, that wouldn't happen to us over here in Britain.
Yeah.
And yet we were dealing with that, and it's I think it woke some people up to like the fragility of the British Empire. It's not as powerful as people think it is. You know?
As invincible as it is also shown, right, in the media, probably. I mean, it's also about like how countries try to present themselves, I guess, also to their people, you know. And oftentimes it's crazy how far apart this is, you know.
I think people it's interesting how like on a human level, most people are somewhat left-leaning in their personal politics. Like they want people to be looked after, and they want this, that, and the other, which are tenets of leftism. And yet most Western governments or most Western countries will end up voting in right-wing leadership. And in the UK, it's a case of the media. The media is controlled by the right, unfortunately. And that's part of why we end up with conservative prime ministers and Brexit.
Wait, crazy. Yay. So the media is that biased over there?
Oh, 100%. So there are two maybe three, which have a left lean, and that means there's probably about a dozen right-leaning papers. Thanks to, you get like Rupert Murdoch and his empire control like, I don't know, 5 or 6 papers, and then there's so many papers are controlled by the other ones. But at the end of the day, it's in their best interest to lean the government right, because they don't get taxed as much. So in the UK, we're very aware of which papers have political biases, or at least certain people are. There's a lot of people who just go out and buy the Sun every week and
Yeah.
don't think about it, unfortunately. But yeah, the media is very yeah, very one-sided over here, unfortunately.
I guess we're really, like, in Germany, we are really, how do you say? We're lucky to have, like, media like the ones we have. I mean, we have, like, some private media channels, newspapers, etc., of course. And they're prejudiced. Like, there's one famous one that probably is, like, our equivalent to the Sun. Where you just read the headlines and you're like, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
And you're actually afraid of how many people read that newspaper and just take it for the truth and for, yeah, that's how it is. And they also are super prejudiced. Like they don't. It's not just like objective, you know, like journalism.
Yeah.
But then again, there's quite a lot, like we have like a few media institutions that are controlled by the state, right? And those are hopefully as unprejudiced as possible, right? Or they try to be, at least. And that is something that I take for granted sometimes as well, that just there's like a media outlet that I can go to and that probably more or less just tries to convey facts, you know, without going like, oh my god, how couldn't they do this or that or whatever.
Yeah, the sensationalism.
Yeah. I mean, you could say it's prejudice in some way because they would probably never... you could probably still see that they're against certain ideals or ideas. But I mean, that's like, okay, they don't sell fascism, you know? We've got a history with that here. Obviously, we're not too happy about it. But you know, like they would never go like, yeah, that idiot from that right-wing party did some shit again or something like that, you know? They would just say, okay, one of them, that's what they did, you know?
Unfortunately here, we always had the BBC, and the BBC traditionally was somewhat left-leaning, like the country. But since the Conservatives, the most recent iteration of the Conservatives, I guess, have slowly eroded the BBC, and it's become more filled with more voices from the right, and the BBC will skew towards the government's best interests. So I think that we're more aware of that in Scotland, because in Scotland we could see them, they would like not show our first ministers like speeches and stuff, and they would like really suppress the ideas of independence, which is obviously in the interest of the British government to not have an independent Scotland. Even though it's coming Amadeus. It's gonna happen 100%.
An independent Scotland?
Yeah, well, the vote was close. So we had a vote many years ago, which was 45 to... this is when I was thinking 45 to 55. This was the independence vote.
Okay.
And since then, you've had, especially COVID. So like we had our First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, did a very good job. Everyone in Scotland was very happy with what she did. She appeared on TV every day to speak to the country.
Crazy.
Whereas Boris Johnson down south didn't do a very good job, currently embroiled in many scandals. When there was a mistake made by Nicola Sturgeon of like she had got the wrong date on a diary entry or something for like an internal investigation, the right jumped in it like, oh my god, get rid of ministerial code, get her out of here, sort of thing. And then like Boris Johnson's like breaking all sorts of laws by partying it up, giving contracts to his pals and stuff. And people are just like, yeah, it's alright, you know. Like the media just goes a bit quiet. But the party stuff is getting him a bit fucked now. We expect him to be gone next week, maybe. We'll see.
It's always crazy how people get used to that stuff, you know? Like, same with the whole Trump situation, for example. I just saw like a few days ago a set of an American comedian, Mark something, forgot his name. and he's like, the set he did was at the beginning of the Trump election. Like, well, not of the election, but after he was elected, like beginning of the Trump era. And he's like, it's crazy. You wake up in the morning, you're like, I have no idea what he did. Let's see what he did. You know, you're afraid to open up your phone. And it's crazy how people got used to that, you know? Like, at the beginning, everybody was afraid of what he might do. And then everybody's like, okay, it's not too bad. I mean, the fucking president of the United States stands in front of people and tells, like, okay, yeah, if you go over there, you can grab him by the pussy, you know? And everybody's just like, at least you didn't blow something up, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in other countries, I guess everybody would have just kicked him out. He would have gone to fucking jail probably even.
It's the political system in America seems fucking crazy. That
I have no idea how they
nothing.
did not change that already. Like even in Germany, I didn't have political lessons or anything during high school, but like in 7th grade or so, which would make me about 13, 14 years old, I think, something like that. Wait, let me count. Yeah, I think like 12, 13, something like that. And even then, we learned about, you know, the voting system. Maybe it was a bit later. Maybe it was also 9th grade. Whatever. You know, as a teenager, I learned how fucked up the system and the election system is. You know, like we saw, okay, this is how they vote. This is why in certain cases, even if more people vote for something because of the way the states count their votes, etc., something else might happen, etc. And even then, a whole class, you know, of German people stood there or sat there and was like, and why exactly is it like that? Like, why don't you change it? Yeah, because it's been like that for like 60 years, I don't know, 100 years, whatever. Like, how?
It's mad. It's crazy to think as well, there's a point in history where America was put in charge of Japan, for example, and managed to put in a really good economic and political system into that country. But while at home, the things are just so with the Trump stuff. Like, yeah, people got completely desensitized to it. And I remember like listening to like certain American pundits at the time were just like, they longed for going back to the time when you didn't talk about the president every day of the week. Like there would be one thing that would happen a week. Oh, he went to go meet this guy. Cool. Whereas like it was like relentless. Like every day, like he did something else, and every day we were surprised. And it was like, it's, and as Hilly says, like it seems impossible to change. Like that system is there's so many intentional embedded flaws into the American political system that it's just the fact that someone else's vote can count more than someone else's vote is crazy.
Yeah,
like actually crazy. Yeah, like it goes completely against the core tenets of democracy.
Yeah, I guess a lot of it also builds on the fact how big of a country the US is. Right, how many people you have to are affected by that system. I mean, that's probably what's difficult to change. Like if you have a system that is so stuck in its ways, but affects so many people on so many levels also, right? You can't just change it. Like that would implicate so many other small changes, you know, like it would start a cascade of political and economical changes that maybe you can't even get a grasp on, you know. I guess that's why you can't do it, you know, because people are afraid of that. Same as you can't just install communism in a European country like that now, you know. Like even if I would vote left, you know,
yeah,
I'm realistic enough to be like, yeah, of course it's not gonna change in like 4 years, you know, like not gonna happen. Too many people are affected by this, who are gonna protest, who are gonna be afraid of the changes, who might even suffer from the changes at first. And you can't just tell them like, yeah, we know what you're doing, just wait 10 years and then it's going to be so much better than before. No, everybody's just being like, fuck it, I want my food on the table today. You know, why can't I drive my car anymore? Whatever, well, you know.
I think the problem is that it's the people in charge who it would impact them. Like, if you wanted real political change in any country, the people in charge have to act not in their own best interests. They have to make changes which could impact how they get elected, how they appear in front of the American people or the people of their country. It was like I remember watching a thing about in Australia. It was talking about gun control and how in Australia they had some shootings and it led to them bringing in sweeping gun control changes. They got rid of like all their assault weapons and everything like that. And it was the right-wing party that was in charge at the time who enacted it. It cost them a lot politically, but they did it because it was the right thing. Which, if you think about now, I can't think of a political party in a country who would do something that wasn't in their own best interests, that would cost them politically just because it was the right thing to do. They always deal with themselves first. They look after themselves first, and the people come second.
Yeah.
That's why there are still so many guns in America. That's why there is so many social economic problems in America, is because it benefits those in power to have those issues, unfortunately.
And you can also put that on other countries as well. I mean,
oh yeah.
For example, in Germany, we're not as fucked up, I'd say, as in the US. When it comes to something.
Sorry, America.
Sorry, America. That's not how it is, how I see it. But still, like, there's some things where I'm also like, okay, that could change for the better, you know. I mean, take even grand things like fucking climate change or something. You know, I mean, if there was an interest in making large parts of the country go green energy, for example, or fucking electric cars, you name it, you know. It's not about us not being able to, as they say sometimes, to put enough fucking charging stations around the fucking country, you know. If they really would want to do this, they could, you know. It would just need some drastic changes, and a lot of people would at first lose their jobs, of course, because they only know how to build a fucking car that's not electric, you know, or they are whatever, you know. But that's the thing. They would have to, I don't know, learn another job, for example, which of course you can't really expect from somebody. You can't just go tell somebody, okay, yeah, no, we told you when you learned that job for like 3 to 10 years back then, we told you that would be in your interest of securing the safety financially for your family. Yeah, fuck it. Actually, sorry. But then again, if you don't do stuff like that, the change that we need probably right now is not going to come fast enough, I guess.
Well, we've always had that to a degree, where like the more automation that comes into industry, the less people are needed, jobs disappear, and then those jobs reappear on the other side of it. The best thing would be to retrain every single deep sea oil driller to be solar panel installers. Yes,
but how do you do that, right? That's the thing.
Yeah. You need governmental assistance to do that, but then you need a government who really wants to do it. But like for example, in Scotland, I mean, I think about 85% of our energy is green now.
Nice.
Don't have any numbers. I remember it was something like, there was a news article from last year which would like, this is the biases of media again, which would be like, Scotland misses green energy target. And it was like we were meant to be at like 87% and we hit 85%. It wasn't like, yo, Scotland did really well here. No, it was they failed by 2%. Green energy is worthless. It's just it's the way you spin things which changes them completely.
Yeah. Have a good one. Have a good one. See ya. By the way, people were reporting some crackling. Now I wonder if people just don't hear the music and they only hear like the bit of crackling of the lo-fi in the background, or if you guys actually hear the music. I did change some things. I did turn off.
You did have a bit of microphone crackle. Just a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean that's probably because I'm not using. Wait. I can actually fix that real quick.
You don't have your usual echo.
Yeah, I am right now. I'm using like the input directly into OBS instead of going through my DAW, but I can do that. We hear both the music and the crackling. Damn it. That's not what I wanted to hear.
Look at you with your DAW. I got Ableton installed now, and you actually use it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm doing, Amadeus.
With the DAW?
Yeah. I haven't set it up yet.
What did you get? Which one? Did you say Ableton?
Yeah, Ableton, yeah.
Okay, I've never used Ableton. I went straight for Studio One because back in the days I got a cracked version when I was a teenager.
Nice.
And then when I actually bought the software, I just used what I have before. Wait, so let me change it.
Is my audio okay, chat? Is my audio fantastic? It should be, right? Of course. There's Amara's muted? They say you're muted. They said you're muted. Are you unmuted now? You're not unmuted, or you are unmuted. Is it just me chatting to chat? Yay, how's it going, chat?
Oh, there we go. Okay, now I should be there.
Can you hear him now? Is it all good?
And is the crackling gone? I hope so.
Yeah, actually sounds smoother. Sounds clearer.
Oh, nice. Good to know. Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Yeah, probably it was just like the input signal wasn't processed as much as it is now. So, whew. Okay. We're back to smooth talking without crackling.
People,
hey, user, welcome.
Don't realize that you have to have as a streamer, you have to have software which processes your voice, and then you have your OBS, and
totally.
Then with you have your DAW. With me, I have my memes and my tunes.
How much time to go away a little bit from politics? And
good.
Get into streaming a little bit, yeah. I mean, most people in chat know you, I think, so we don't need to do like the basic talk. But I mean, for how long have you been streaming now, in total? Like same as me, more or less.
I'm about to hit 2 years.
2 years. Okay, so actually a half a year longer than me.
Oh really?
Yeah, I'm at 1.5.
Damn.
I started
I'm gonna be
July, I think. May, June. I think June was the first month I continuously streamed. There's like 1 or 2 test streams in May.
Yeah, so I think it's May is my 16th of May. I think was my first stream in 20.
It's January, Zep. That's not closing in on 2 years. I mean,
it's closing in January,
is,
February, March, April. Okay, maybe not.
April, May. Oh, it's half a year. Fuck it.
Well,
and you told me, wait, only 1.5 years, really?
I know, I'm 1.5 years. Yeah, I've been streaming for a long time. That feels like a long time.
1.5 years is a long time, especially in a business like that, right? In a business like that, but I feel like there's only a few streamers that that go like 3, 4, 5 years back, and those are like the big ones. Because I feel like if people don't get to a point where they see a future in streaming, they just stop doing it, or doing it less and less, putting less effort in it, which probably is a natural way of things.
Yeah,
right?
It depends on your goals as a streamer. If your goal is to be like the next Otstava, first big streamer I can think of, but like if you want to be the next Pokimane. And you don't see that success after so long, then yeah, you are gonna pack it in. But like if your goal, like for me, is just to have a creative outlet, then it doesn't really matter that much if I haven't reached for the stars.
But then again, like I would say, like with other hobbies, for example, if you, let's say, just play the piano at home, if you like wood crafting or something, It doesn't really matter if you're good at it necessarily, because as you say, it's not about that if it's a hobby, right? Or if you do it because you like it, if it's for fun.
Yeah.
So, of course, you can be good at it, but you don't have to necessarily. As in a job, for example, where you just need to deliver a certain performance, otherwise you don't get the needed results. But I feel like streaming is somewhere in between, because even if you're just streaming because it's fun and you enjoy it, I mean, of course, if you have like a certain number of viewers, it doesn't matter, you know, like you can be streaming for like 10 years and have like 15 people watching, 20 people watching, 40 people watching, without like going to scratch those big numbers, as in, for example, Pokemon. I don't know how many followers and people watch that stream, but like probably a few thousand, you know, a few 10,000 maybe even.
Yeah.
At the same time, and that's fine, sure, and you don't need to be at that point after a few years where you make super much money out of it, but still, right? I mean, streaming still is something you do with the intent of communicating, with the intent of reaching somebody. I mean, you can sit at home and I don't know, build a table for yourself, and it sucks and it breaks, and you have to build 10 times until it actually can hold something, you know. But nobody cares about that. It's just for yourself. If you go stream, especially if you're gaming, right? But music also, you know, I could just sit at home and do music on my own. I could just sit at home and play video games on my own, or with friends even.
It's not as fun. It's not as fun.
Is it such a difference for you if you're streaming? And again, I'm not talking about it's fun because you're having a few people watching with you and being in chat. But imagine being a streamer who has like 4 or 5 viewers who are barely active in chat for like years on end. Would you actually continue streaming? Or would you be like, okay, actually there's not much of a difference from just gaming on my own. Obviously, it's not my thing, or I'm not getting discovered for whatever reason. People are not watching. After such a long time, I would be like, yeah, okay, maybe just not do it. You know, there's nothing that it doesn't add any kind of value to what I do. Like, of course, if there's like a few people watching, commenting in chat, even if you only reach by 1 or 2 people who go like, hey, I really like you going live, I really enjoy your Minecraft streams, or I really like the music you do, or I really like playing Jackbox games with you, no matter what it is you do, then it's fine. Then you connect with somebody, then you reach somebody, then you know what you do. At least one person profits from it in some kind of way, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think I think you have to get to double digits where you can comfortably run a stream and not feel like you're just talking into the void, which I think is very hard. Like, if I've had streams where it's ended up very quiet and very dead, and it's very hard to push through things like that. And in fact, I had one last Friday where I streamed with Fredulum, and we did something that was like outside of both of our comfort zones. We played a bit of Apex, and like initially maybe I had like a dozen people in there, which is good, you know, a little bit of interaction. And then like I noticed it got very quiet. I looked across, there was 4 people there, and I was just like, you know what? Let's just move across to Fredulum stream. Like, sometimes there's certain streams like that where like if you split your audience, they're disappearing. Yeah. And then it just doesn't become fun because like you're trying to stimulate something that just isn't there. Setting up streams isn't too painful.
I would disagree. Zeb, what?
Like, from the base level, if I was starting today, I would know that I don't need a camera. I need an okay microphone, and I can go live pretty much right then and there.
What is happening today? Sorry that I disrupt you, but earlier today, Jeff Bezos followed me, like written like that exactly. Nice. I wonder if it's like weird spam accounts, and now it's Emmanuel Macron.
You got some big followers.
Oh.
But like I know enough now that I would be comfortable starting from scratch again. But I do. Once you have built quite a quite once you've built out what your stream is and its identity and all that sort of stuff, it's very hard to imagine doing it any other way. So I do know what you mean about setting up a stream is.
Oh, okay. So you're talking about, okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, you can see it as you're talking about setting up the stream as in what do I want, where do I want to go with the stream, how do I want it to look, all these things. Yeah, that's for me, that was fun. That was part of the creative process that actually attracted me to streaming. But as I saw it, it's also for me, okay, maybe for me as a music streamer, that's a bit different with all the audio stuff. But I mean, if you would look at all the fucking cables that lie around here, since I got more and more equipment, which is something, I come from like classical piano, right? So I played on a real instrument that doesn't need any cables. And then I start streaming, and it took me so long, and actually the help of my community, Fishing for Sound, one of the people in my community, he's actually also sound engineer, and he helped me set everything up because I had no idea what to do. I plugged in a few cables and was like, why doesn't it work? I have no idea why it doesn't work. And now I know, but like to get to that point, where you set up your stream as in, you need to get to know all these things. I mean, yeah, you're an experienced streamer now. Of course, if you would move somewhere else and you have to set everything up again, you at least know where to look, what to do, what's important and what's not. But imagine somebody who has no idea about these things, and gets into streaming because he's like, okay, I want to sit down, play some piano and talk. Sounds nice, I can do that as well. What do I need? And I'd be like, okay, so first, do you know what OBS is? Then you need those plugins. That's chat here. Also, that's a DAW. You need an audio interface to connect to that, because otherwise you can't connect your XLRs. You know what's an XLR? Okay, so you need a microphone. That's not a USB. That is another kind of cable. You know, like, if you have no idea about these things, that's a lot of stuff to process until you get to the point where you're comfortably at a good level of quality in streaming.
It's like I look back, I sometimes think about it and cry a little bit about my first webcam stream was so horribly lit. I was lit the same on both sides, so I just became, and my color balancing wasn't right, so I just became a ghost. I just became the ghost of an egg, and it looks so bad, and it's not who I am at all. And I sometimes think back to that, and I hate it. It was terrible,
Hey,
Tiny. Shut up. And I so wish that I just knew a little bit more before I made that little leap. Because the second webcam stream onwards, my lighting is so much better, and I mean, I think I'm pretty well lit these days.
Yeah.
But lit. I mean, it all evolves over time. Like the screen didn't come until that long ago. I've always had like multiple lights. That's pretty normal. I'm not illuminating a green screen anymore. I do all of that with software instead of hardware. It's just learn over time.
Like, how many lights do you have in there right now?
I have 3.
Okay.
I have 4. So I have 2 behind me. My key light, or my I call it key light. My main light, which is just a ring light over here, and then I have my colored light, which is just a little bit of subtlety, ambiance, not subtlety.
So the two behind you, are those behind the Japanese folding screen, or are those? Okay. They just light up the background.
They just illuminate the backgrounds. And I could maybe have a little bit more light on this side, or push this light a bit further back and turn it up. This side needs work. This side needs work, and it knows it needs work. Don't you? And we will work on that. But yeah, like, I'm happy with my setup. But I know that you have so much hardware that you have to think about. But all I do to start a stream is really I bring my mic in. I set it up. I adjust my color balance to my camera because it resets every time, and then I fuck with the lights for a second, and I'm good to go.
Okay, listen to this. I'm gonna walk you through what I do before I start streaming. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I know it's gonna be a list. Let's go.
Yeah, and by the way, Turka, I didn't forget your question. Turka asked a question before. How were your streaming beginnings? We can talk about that in a moment. So
My stream beginning is so dramatic. Okay.
yeah, exactly.
And
See,
traumatic.
We got something to talk about. So when I wake up, right, and from the moment where I'm entering this room until I start streaming, and mind you, all of what I'm saying now is mostly happening in 10 to 15 minutes. Is first I need to turn everything on in this room, which is my PC. By now I use like I have like these how do you say, like these power where there's like a few power sockets together.
Oh yeah, like extension cables.
Okay, yeah.
That's what we call
Say again.
extension
Oh,
cables.
just extension cable. Yeah, okay, makes fucking sense. So I got like 2 or 3 of those, and they are plugged into these, again, extensions that have like Wi-Fi, so I can actually turn all of them on or off at once.
Ooh.
So I just go into this room now. I only have that for 2 weeks now, and I just click on one thing, and everything lights up at the same time, and the PC starts running. But those things, if I would have to do that manually, there's like a ring light over here. There's another light, like if I sit at the piano, right, there's like a ring light in front of me. There's another light right to me illuminating the wall, and the wall is white, so it gives like a little bit. Then there's like the 2 lamps in the background to give like that cozy look. Yeah, then I have to turn on my loop station.
Yeah.
Then I have to, of course, start the bot, start my DAW, start Discord, start OBS. Then I have to adjust the Logitech camera again and color grade it and everything every single time again, because Logitech cameras don't save what you do with them.
They don't save the settings.
How? Why?
Unless
nobody fucking knows.
You can use Logicam, the software, but then that's just another piece of software running on your computer, and then your OBS is just like too much software and has a meltdown and runs slow.
Correct.
Fuck.
So then I have to do that. Then I have to, change the daily wisdom that I have, like find like a stupid thing to say, put that in. Then I have to start DAW. Then I need to, check if I need to turn on the piano. And then I always have to check if all the settings work, like if there's something that I accidentally changed, and so many times, and my community can agree on that, so many times we're streaming and always something doesn't work. Like I turn on the stream and somebody's like, you're muted, or what's that background noise, or why are you more silent than usual, or why is the piano louder than you when you're singing, or I don't know. And there's always something with the audio. Always.
So many softwares reset. The software that runs my mic. So my mic goes through 2 layers of software. It goes through the software which comes with the mic, the standard shit, and then it goes through voice mod to clean up the audio and allow me to like make it sound like I'm echoey. So it always has 2 layers. And for some reason, the first layer always decides to reset itself. So that's why I started very loud today, because it was just like, you want to be at 36 decibels, right? And I'm just like, no, I don't. I want to have the mic. I don't want to have the mic like, I don't want it eating the mic. I don't want it too far away. I want it. I don't really think about the whole software setup like we were talking about, but yeah, I set up OBS. I have to set up, whatchamacallit, Leorin board, make sure that all works.
Yeah, same.
And make sure my Stream Deck's working. My Stream Deck desyncs sometimes. I have to make sure that it's not doing that. I have a Spotify app on my Stream Deck, which it breaks constantly. That's so annoying. But there's always something. Like, I mean, that's just part of streaming, though, isn't it? Like firefighting, like trying to figure out what's broken. It happens so often.
You said you use Leorin board. That's a question from me to you. Like, what do you use Leorin board for? And does it randomly crash sometimes? Because there's like a receiver and a sending thing, right? And the receiver, for me breaks sometimes under certain circumstances that I have not figured out yet. Like sometimes when somebody uses the zoom command or something that changes the overlay somehow, every now and
Yeah.
then it crashes for some reason. No idea why. Makes no sense.
Have
but-
you? When did you last update your Leorum board? Because I
Oh.
was having issues, and then I updated it recently, and it stopped having issues.
Okay, I mean, I know that there's like Leorum board 2, but is it out of the beta already?
I don't know. I don't know about Leorum board 2, but I was having issues, and then I updated my Leorum board, my transmitter, and OBS, and all of it, and it solved a lot of issues.
Okay, in that case,
a lot
maybe,
of decent issues.
I might check on
you
that.
have-
I might
On
check
your receiver, do you have to
Yeah.
click connect to OBS and connect to Twitch? Do you have those two options, or is your?
I have, but it does it automatically when I store it.
Okay, I think the old ones do it automatically. The new ones you do it manually, but then you know for sure it's working.
Okay,
Which
interesting. Interesting.
But I use the Leorum board for. I have my like things like Fug Life where I go black and white and I get the joint and the glasses, and we'll have Trippy Zep who goes all crazy and the giant
where you
background.
move around a little bit.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
And then there's the one which like scans me and
Yeah.
like pauses. All the anything which is triggered with bits, subs, channel points, exclamation marks in chat, all of that's done through the Leorum board. So I've probably got about 40 triggers in the Leorum board. And then I have a set of additional triggers on my stream deck, so I can trigger the one that turns it to a Pokemon scene and the one that puts me in Power Rangers and all that always for dumb shit. That's all on there. This is the things I like doing, and I haven't figured out a new one for a little while, but I like all the different filter layers to make it so that in OBS I'm just a black shadow, and then after a certain time I appear and stuff like that, which happens in like different scenes. That's all controlled for the Leorum board and is an absolute ball ache to set up because it's all in milliseconds. So I have to go, how many seconds is this? 3.5 milliseconds is far too short. 4 milliseconds is far too long, and then I'm breaking it down by the millisecond to try and find the right transition. And
took me forever for some things. I narrowed it down now and simplified a lot of things. Like lately when with the song list coming in and out, that's just like a smooth thing now. But before I had like an animation with the zebra with Steinway running like through the picture, and it looked like it was actually dragging the song list with it. So I had to completely time how many milliseconds it takes for the list to go back so it moves the same speed as the zebra walks and stuff like that. Oh, Jesus Christ. And then I just deleted it now because I don't need it anymore. I was like, I spent 3 or 4 hours on that.
Yeah, you always get those moments where you're just like, if I want the stream to be better, I gotta delete this. But I spent a day figuring this out 6 months ago, and now I know to do it better. Like it's like with on my last stream I launched the newest look of the stream. So in my just chatting scene, there's 3 layers. So there's a layer which has software which green screens me, and that's the front layer. And then the rest, there's another version of it behind me without the green screening, so the background's there but slightly blurred. And then in between us is where chat appears, where the game can sit, and so it's slightly transparent, and it looks so good. But god damn, that was a lot of work to get right, because you're fucking around with opacities and then changing everything that was already there to put it in the right place. And just anytime that you have a good idea as a streamer, you then have to sit down and go, how many hours do I need for this?
Is it worth it?
Can I do it? Yeah, so like this one, it was like, I'm going to spend my whole lunch and a little bit extra time doing it. That's worth it. 100%. But then there's some things you're like when I was doing like the DBD tournament, I probably did a few days, a few like 12-hour days of prep for all of that.
Okay, such an event is always a handful.
So much work.
It can't be always like the stream that we do right now, where we just go like, hey, want to talk shit? All right.
Don't.
Dude, Friday,
Those
hey.
streams they're so worth it, but at the same time, you need to be in a good place. You need to like emotionally and mentally be strong enough to go through with something like that. Because it's a lot of time and effort at the start. It's a lot of setup in OBS, and it's a lot of managing people. And people are the fucking worst. And so, if as a streamer you can avoid other people, it's so like en masse.
Everybody watching just left. Fuck you,
They
Zep.
know what I mean. But like,
Yeah.
like one of those tournaments was like, I don't know, I had to coordinate like 40 streamers, and like that's so fucking hard. Streamers are so flaky, and they have their own shit, and to get all those people together is just like, it's something I avoid like the plague at the moment. Maybe in like a few months I'll feel up for it again, but god damn.
I do get you. I tried, like, oftentimes I feel like something like that would be a good idea, and I have a lot of ideas, like, what I would like to do. Thing is, I'm kind of a perfectionist, I have to say, and if, not that I need it to be perfect, but I need it as close as to what I imagined I could do with it as possible, you know? And, like, if I'm not fulfilling, like, my own expectations, basically, that sucks. And before Christmas, for example, I wanted to get a few streamers together, like Rob This Music, Katie of Laherty, Gary B. Lucas, Baderhaus. So like music streamers that I know and that are in my stream oftentimes, and our communities kind of grew together, you know. I was like, all right, let's do like a Christmas hangout a few days before Christmas or after Christmas, where we just hang a bit, we talk, we bring the communities together, we do it on one of our streams and not on all of them. So, you know, like, just interconnect those people. And everybody was quite stoked. I wrote, like, a message on Discord. Everybody, like, few people were like, I probably can't make it, but others were like, yeah, super nice. We're in, you know? Needless to say, it never happened. because I then, like, some things changed for me. I had to reschedule the date. Then still 4 out of 6 people or so were able to join, but like different 4 people. And then those were kind of waiting for me to set something up, and then it didn't work out, and then we had to move again. And so it's so difficult to get so many people from different countries with different lifestyles, etc. I mean, we stream at different times of the day as well. I work in the evenings, right? So I do stream in the mornings. Other people, which is probably the norm, do stream in the evening rather, or at night. So it's really difficult to find a day where everybody is on the same page. And if I imagine that's just 4 or 5 people. If I imagine setting up an event like that, if I would be like, yeah, let's invite like 20 streamers and maybe some people on Discord and this chat room and blah blah blah, and have like a get together there and manage so many people. Nope. I have no idea how Fred, for example, did it, like for the breakfast tournaments that he did. I think you were part of the first one, right?
Yeah, and the second one, I was commentating.
Yeah, you were commenting, right? And I was gaming in the second one, racing in the second one. And it, like, back then I was like, this is nice. You know, they put effort into it. It's nice. Now that I try to organize something just barely close to the size of that, I have the deepest respect for that guy for setting all that up, organizing it, and still have the time to have like intro videos, to have like these small fake ads he put in the middle of it, etc. I was like, when did he have the time to do that? Crazy.
Yeah. It's like, I know that he wrote code. He wrote code to make elements of that stream work. Like, and he's a web developer. He's a coder. So, like, it's his bread and butter. Like, me and you aren't gonna sit down and go, brackets, exclamation tag, brackets, hashtag star, and figure that shit out. No, we have no idea. We're cavemen over here.
The bot is as far as it goes.
But for me, for my total, like my Dead by Dead, I spent a day working on a thing at the bottom of the stream so that whatever game was on stream, it said the right names, because I programmed 15 buttons on my stream deck, so when I pressed 1, it would hide all of the other names and put their name there. And so, and you can't copy and paste that shit in StreamDecks, or you can, but then you have to change it all, so it's pointless. So I just had to do that and then repositioning it, resizing, adding an image to make it look good.
Yeah.
Color balance, and that's where when you start getting perfectionism into what you're doing, it's a killer, because I could have just not done that. I could have just not and saved myself a day and a ton of headaches. But when I went into making the murder ball, and both of those tournaments, I was like, and this happened with MVC, the Super League. I was like, I want to treat this like an actual sporting event. Like this is the Super Bowl of Dead by Daylight. This is the Super Bowl of MVC. This is, and when you treat something like it's special, people return the favor, you know?
Yeah.
And and in their heads, it's as special as
it's an
you've
event,
made it.
basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Something
I
to look
know a
forward
lot
to.
of streamers will just stand up and say, "This is an event," and do the exact same thing as they do every day. But go, "This is an event," and it still does well for them. But like, what's the point if you don't put in that extra effort to make it really truly special? Before we move on to the next point, I need to go to little Zep's room, so I'll be right back.
Do
Okay,
that.
go back.
Do that. How about we first you do that, then I do that. All right. In that case, I can go a little bit through chat right now. Hope everybody's having a good time so far. We had no idea how this would turn out, to be honest. But you know, I feel like when Seb and me get together, there's always something we can talk about. I just hope you find it entertaining, or a bit entertaining or interesting. This is kind of an experiment, so if at any point during the stream, if at the end of the stream you want to give some feedback, that is always highly appreciated. Either here in chat, you can send me a whisper, you can hop on our Discord and give some feedback there in the suggestions channel. Would be awesome, because I really would like to do something like that. Maybe in the future a little bit more often. Claraft, welcome in chat, and we have like 2 questions, I think, that we completely went over. Like half an hour ago, I think Turka still asked about our beginnings of streaming. I would like to talk about that a little bit maybe later. I do know that for Zep it's like a bigger story than for me, probably. I can give you a rundown in like 1 minute. And also Tiny asked, what's your favorite stream you've done so far, or stream moment? And that's also a nice question we can go over as soon as Zep is back from his little bathroom break. Also, I think like something that needs some rework is like the whole overlay.
I'm back, baby.
Alrighty. Well, in that case, you entertain them for a minute or a hot minute or 2. I'll get another cup of tea. I need that caffeine.
Okay.
And after that, I'd say we have like 2 open questions. Maybe
we have 2 open questions. It's true.
Yeah, like Tiny's. I think we could just start with maybe answering Turka's question about how we started streaming. And if you want, you can start with that already, because I know yours is a bit longer story. I can do that in a minute.
Yeah, I can tell that story.
So you know what the funny thing is? I do remember that during one of the 24-hour streams, or 12-hour stream, I don't know, you were here as a guest as well. And we were also talking about the beginnings of streaming, and I already knew the story as well. And the same thing happened. I went to the toilet or to get some food or something, and you were talking for 10 minutes straight, and I came back and you were still not done. So.
You came back at the depressing point, but okay. Like, you go make your tea. I'll tell them the sad story of how Zep started streaming. Okay?
Yeah, please do so. Story time with Zeppy.
Okay. I'll catch you in a second, Amadeus. Bye. Hi guys, it's your boy Zep. Sorry, my microphone stand got a little bit limp for a second there. I'm not doing it. He doesn't trust me. Telling me off. How did I get into streaming? Okay, so I got into the Jackbox games off of stream, and I couldn't assemble my friends often enough to play them. I really wanted to play them a lot in COVID. I was very bored. And so I started to join Jackbox streams. I first joined a stream by a guy, what was his name? He had a name. And it was just him and his friends playing, and they were streaming it for whatever reason. And I just ended up joining in and making them all laugh. And it felt really good. I like making people laugh. And then I joined another stream, and I got very deep into their community. And I ended up becoming a mod for that streamer, and, you know, was very involved in the community, very involved in the stream. That streamer turned out to be a piece of shit. And was doing a lot of pretty horrible stuff behind the stream, behind the scenes. So after a few months, and when it all came out, I'd already started streaming, but not like, I was doing it here and there. But he was kind of like manipulative and controlling, and would like essentially tell me not to stream this game or not to stream this, that, the other, behind the scenes. Yeah, Tiny was there for all this. But anyway, he was a piece of shit. He hurt a lot of people. He did a lot of bad in the world. And my community spawned out of getting away from him and starting our own place, really. And that's when I started to take streaming more seriously, was after that all fell apart, and I kind of had a bit of responsibility on my shoulders, because before that it was really just a fuck around. A few people would hang out, and I'd play whatever and would chat, and, you know. But then after that happened, I became affiliate. I started to take streaming a bit more seriously. Honestly, everything that went down with him kind of drove me to be a successful streamer, because I was always like, I wanted to do better than him. I just wanted to be more successful, almost out of spite. It's probably not a good way to grow your stream. But yeah, I never wanted to. I got to the point where I didn't want to be compared to him anymore, but I wanted to do better, and I wanted to do right by the people who put their trust in me. So my start to streaming was very serious and very sad, really. Those first few streams before it all came out, I had a lot of pressure behind the scenes to not step on his toes. And after it came out, for the first few months, I was pretty wrapped up in the fallout of it. And it wasn't until like a few months later that I really got to actually figure out what the fuck what I wanted to do, what I wanted the stream to be, like what my voice was, what my style was. I didn't know all of this. I just kind of like just did it. And I actually got to sit down and think, well, what did I want? What did I want from streaming? And I decided I wanted a creative outlet, and so I started to better develop the stream and better develop what I wanted to do. But yeah, I told that story a lot shorter than what I did the last time I told this on one of Amadeus's chat and streams. But yeah, it was an unfortunate start to streaming. But it was also a good thing to experience in a way, because I, until that point, was very naive of Twitch, and I think I saw the underbelly of Twitch very early on. And now when I find out like X streamer is a piece of shit, X streamer does this, that, the other, it's not surprising anymore. It doesn't take me by surprise. I can kind of accept it. Not as in like we should accept these things, but more as in that, okay, that's probably true. Cool. Let's move on without this person in our lives. And it still happens to today, unfortunately. There's a very big Jackbox streamer who recently got found out for being a piece of shit. It happens every day. So what we need to make sure that we have on Twitch is that the moderators and people in these communities care enough that they protect their fellow community members and don't let people abuse their positions of power. I'm starting to sound like I'm talking about politics again. That was succinct. Thank you. I think that's a good word. I can't think right now. That was the short version. But it's something I feel very strongly about. And I have a fantastic community with some fantastic people. People who experienced all of that and stuck around and built something new together, which I think is pretty beautiful. So I appreciate them all greatly. And it was then after that I met guys like Amadeus and Grumpy Sensei, and built my own little Twitch family. Yeah. No, we love the mods. We love the mods. Don't be mean to the mods. Yeah. Any other questions? I think I don't know if I want to answer Tiny straight away. I can't answer both questions, and we have to sit here and listen to Amadeus ramble about his likes of who cares. Well, one time I played the piano. It's like, yeah, great. Come back when you've got an electric. Nah, I'm joking. Do I have any other questions from chat? Now that I am in charge, I have taken over the stream. Because one man decided to get tea, and I'm out here drinking the beer. Oh, what good timing.
Wait, me?
Yeah, you.
Okay. You just finished your story?
Yeah, but well, I rambled for a little bit, and then I was just like, any other questions from chat? And then you appeared, and I was like, oh, thank God. No, out here on my Todd for too long.
Okay, so you were completely through with your story of
yeah, how I started on
drama.
Twitch.
Yeah. Okay. So should I go as well now?
Yeah, you go. Tell us. I know your story is pretty simple. So.
It is. I was about to tell it in 10 seconds.
Go do it.
So my brother was like, hey, if you play the piano during Corona on your own, why don't you stream it on Twitch? And I was like, wait, Twitch? And he's like, yeah, they have music too. I'm like, okay. And that's how I started streaming on Twitch.
So okay then, your other question must be longer. What's your favorite stream or stream moment that you've had so far?
So many to choose from. So I guess in general, like a stream event, like if it's like a whole stream, then probably the 24-hour streams. I did 2 of those. And they've been always an amazing experience. Just because of the amount of people dropping by, the amount of support that was coming in during those streams. That was pretty cool. And also I feel like those were the first events kind of that brought the community together, you know. I feel like over the past maybe half year, the community here, like the living room community, really started to grow together and become a thing. I felt before it was like, okay, I was streaming, there were a few people who were watching more regularly, but it was more like that, you know what I mean? I never really felt that there was a sense of strong, well, there was a sense of community, as in people, you know, helping each other out, etc. But it wasn't like a thing, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
And then the Discord started to get a bit more active, and then during the 24-hour streams, there was like all these people who came in regularly, who stayed, like were a few people who stayed for the whole 24 hours, except like for 1 hour where they had to go to eat or something. That was crazy. And we did these pictures, you know, like where you could draw online, like a shared painting, a shared wall. And I printed one of those. I'm so sorry, guys. The other one is still coming, I swear. And just to see, you know, like people started to connect a bit more. Not only, and yeah, maybe that's the thing that I meant with sense of community. It became less about the people connecting with me through the stream. It was also about people connecting with each other, you know? Like we had a community night on Discord as well, a few by now, 4 or 5. We would just talk a bit and play some Jackbox games. Mostly we talk though, about everything and anyone. And people started to join in voice, started to join with video chat as well. And now I feel like there's like these few people, even if they're not there all the time, you know, like I know their usernames, of course. They come in and then other users do know them and they go like, hey, good to see you again. You know, they start to talk to each other as well. It started to feel a bit more like everybody was hanging out together. And that's something I really, really like seeing. So sure. I guess to see that sense of community form, that's like for me like my highlight of streaming so far. And to see that slowly forming and happening, you know, and evolving.
Yeah, I know we did for a while in my community. We did our after parties. There were certain streams, like it was usually on a Saturday. We'd then like hang out in Discord afterwards. Unfortunately, the way that my stream structure is now, it hasn't really happened in a while. And it's something that is difficult to do just like on its own. I found, at least, because one time we did do it on its own, it didn't work as well. But there was some fantastic nights where like the stream might finish at midnight and the after party would be going on until like 3 a.m. of us just like drinking and chat, and there was so much fun. I need to find a way to bring those back, because yeah, it is so awesome. It's so awesome to see like and it's great, like there's this core group in the Z gang who like all know each other very well, and like when they see each other in chat, they'll chat away, and then there's the newer people who are slowly starting to be pulled into that circle, who I could see like maybe next time we do something like that would join. Yeah, it's I especially during COVID, that felt very good to have created, like a space where people could actually socialize without leaving their houses.
Yeah, true that. And also like a safe space where they can also talk about that shit, right, during Corona. Like I do remember, like for me personally, I have to say, that's why I also said, yeah, bring those community nights back, you know. I do fondly remember, you know, these times where I was hanging out in your streams, and Grumpy's, you know, and your after parties in the on the Discord, the Valheim server that was up for a while. We were playing that game so much. I do remember, especially because a lot of your people from your community are from the US. I remember back then when I was still living with my ex, I remember her going to bed at like 11 p.m. or 10 p.m., 11 p.m. and me going like, yeah, I'll just play another hour, like finish that one thing, and maybe somebody will join the server as well, because I was mostly alone there. Maybe Neo was running around somewhere in the woods.
Yeah.
And then I finished something, and then maybe Hilly came on, you know, and we were talking about how the village that we started building evolved or something. Then other people joined voice, then Sheik was there, then you came in, you know, and all of a sudden it was 6 a.m. and I was sitting there, I was like, oh shit. That's whenever I'm like, now that I'm back to work and I'm like, because of the way our house is, the bedroom's beneath the living room, and I would be like, yo, Mish, do you mind coming to bed at the same time as me? Just because if you're up in the living room watching TV or walking around above me, I'm not going to be able to sleep very well. And I get reminded, well, you're the one who fucked up my sleep schedule by playing fucking Valheim and streaming and shit. And I'm just like, fair. Fair. What can I say? You're right. Yeah. But that's the thing. I still like, I feel like to go back to the whole community thing, you know, for me personally, during Corona, I mean, I had the possibility to go out, you know. The house I was living in back then had a garden, so I was one of the privileged people who were able to spend some time outside their flat without leaving their premise, you know. Premise? Do you say that? I don't know.
Premises, yeah.
Okay. Sometimes my brain surprised me. I'm like, what kind of word did I just use? Is that even a correct English word? But still, you know, like the whole social component, you could meet like 1 or 2 people at the same time back then in Germany.
Yeah.
You know, and you were of course inclined to not meet anyone at all, just to keep the risk down as much as possible. And to have the possibility not to only to watch somebody, for example, play the piano or game, but to have your like community-centered streams where I just felt immediately welcome in the Z gang. You know, like people immediately said hi when I was there the second time, and then people started to hang out on Discord as well. So it's really great that streams during Corona provided that kind of safe space, you know, that made them feel welcome.
Yeah, and I think it was something that I think it helped a lot of people get through it all. I have like where I live. Luckily, I've neighbors I'm very good friends with, etc., etc. But like all of my friend groups like would involve travel to go see. And unfortunately, like a lot of my friend groups, some of them started with me there, but like through circumstances continue in without me. So like I'm not a key member there, so I can drift in and out, or I can just never be a part of it and it not be an issue.
Yeah.
So to have a community where I guess I'm at the center of it is appreciated. Like I think the Z gang would really notice if I just disappeared, whereas I've friends in real life where I could disappear for a few years and they wouldn't even notice. So it's all good.
Yeah. Fair enough. Interesting. Yeah.
It's like
I think
my
that's maybe something for you know, like for other people as well in the community, especially like the core members, as you say right now.
Yeah.
Like, you know, those, some of them I know from the living room community. I know by now with their real names as well, if they feel comfortable sharing on the Discord, you know. But even with usernames, you start to have that kind of image in your head about people you never met and you never saw, and you just see them writing, you know, just the way what they talk about and how they behave, etc. And as you say, like it's different from maybe some bigger streams, and as well completely different from like other media outlets you could have during Corona, right? For example, you could also just watch Netflix all day and you know, finally get Game of Thrones down and watch Breaking Bad and whatever and on. But you do that alone, you know, especially during Corona where you couldn't invite a friend or a group of friends. So that's something you do on your own. As you say, you kind of feel left out of everything, you know. And I feel like, of course, I mean, we still have to be realistic here. At least in my case, I would say that, of course, there's like a few people in chat that I know a little bit by name, and if they would suddenly not appear anymore, I would be like, maybe notice, you know. But then we're like, okay, maybe their life went on, maybe they have something else to do. But still, like the core members, if there's like a few people that are not there anymore as much, you know, there's always some people checking in on each other, you know, and asking like what's been up. And that's also nice, you know, to come back to a place, even though, I mean, again, we have to be realistic here. This doesn't replace like real human interaction, but it is still real human interaction on another level, you know. And it's still, you still have to appreciate that there's a place where you can go and people are happy that you're there and people appreciate you being there and being part of it. And people also, as you say, noticing if you're not there, you know, like, and you know you're missing somewhere. Maybe I'm getting a bit not pathetic.
No,
how do you say,
like
you know, emotional about this? But that's how it is, you know. That
I mean, like
tough times.
Like for me, my like last lot of friend groups were either around the job that I did, or which is a very adult thing. Like you end up with, like when I was a teenager, I think I burnt a lot of bridges. I went through a very bad time in my life, and I just kind of cut so many people out. Probably when it was the time when I needed them most, but I just cut them out. And I hurt for that for a while until I started a job where there was just such a strong, close-knit, like it grew. Like it wasn't like that day one, but we all grew very close to each other. And I left that job. So they still continue to do that job and have that community. Like, I sometimes consider going back, even though it's a terrible place to work, just for the people. And then my next friend group was around a sports team, which I don't play anymore. So they continue to play the sport and I'm not there. Whereas like with something like this, well, no, it's something that it doesn't require you to do a certain job or play a certain sport to be a part of. It's always there. And I know that these guys check up on each other. I know that they have like inner circles within the circle that maybe like 4 of them go off and do something, or 2 of them go off and do something else. Then at the end of the day, like when we all sit around to watch Pirate Master and beg for them to mutiny someone, like we're all together in that, you know. It's I really, the Z gang have become so much more than I could have possibly hoped. And while like maybe our Discord's a bit quiet, I feel like the things rumble behind the scenes. And then if I like go, yo, after party, we end up like there's still like 12, 13 people there,
Which
all
is
drinking.
a very good number, you know, like hanging out
It's
together on
mad.
Discord. Yeah.
And like, I don't know, like it's such a wholesome thing. I love it.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, like, this just became like a community appreciation stream.
Well, I mean, like without the community, you're not a streamer. That's the thing. Like some streamers switch on they switch on their stream and they stream, like the big streamers. They stream for like 10 hours. They could barely interact with chat. Like they might say someone's name, but they don't really mean anything. Whereas like for streamers like us, like if we switched on the camera and the community wasn't there, there wouldn't be a stream. It would just be you playing alone the piano,
like,
and
we
me
go full circle right now to what I said earlier when we were talking about streaming,
starting up a stream.
And I said, like, you need somebody to connect with, otherwise you're not really, I mean, you're kind of streaming, but it's not what you intend to do when you go live. You want to at least that one person you connect with, you know. And it's crazy to think how many people are in our communities that are now there every single time, you know, and connect with what we do. Like, we're blessed,
and
man.
I'm so blessed. And like even for like some of these guys who are so busy that they can only pop in and just say hi. But the fact that they make the conscious effort to, in their busy lives, to come through and just say, "Yo, how's it going?" It's massive.
Yeah.
But yeah, no after party tonight, but we might have one on Saturday. Megs, because we're watching a new reality TV show. That's something else that I've enjoyed that's evolved on stream recently, is doing watch along streams. We started watching what was it called? Psychopaths. It was this YouTube TV show made by a few lads in Sheffield, and it was both great and terrible in equal measures, but it was so fucking funny, unintentionally so funny. And we just stumbled upon it, and ever since then we're like, I think the watch along streams are some of the best ones. Hang with you, so we make sure to pop and say, yeah, I appreciate it, Megs. To answer Tiny's question, beyond the community elements, my favorite moments from stream are always the really good comedy. Now, that might not be the same for you. You might play a piece where you're like, I fucking nailed like Ludovic Vinaldi there. I was him in the flesh. But like there's certain jokes or there's certain bits that I've done on stream which I look back and they still make me laugh. And I'm like, I made some original, legitimately funny comedy there. And that's a part of me that I love to express that I don't get to do enough. Like I'll make Mish laugh all the time. But I know exactly what buttons to push to make her laugh, and they can be really dumb and stupid. But like, to get an audience to laugh with you or laugh at you,
it's
it can be level. It's a different level. Yeah. So like, there's so many, and there's some that just come out of nowhere, like the sideways pizza. Like,
I still remember that, man. I still remember that. What the fuck?
So funny.
That was
Who
so
delivers a pizza sideways?
And then we played Gartic Phone, and everybody was always, at some point, everything we drew turned into sideways pizza.
So horrible. It's like bits like that which just,
oh man,
your stream develops a lore. There's like, there's moments that, and I think that's some of it is like you don't want to miss out. You don't, as a viewer, you don't want to miss out on the next sideways pizza. You don't want to miss out on like the next Pirate Master, the next thing that the entire community is going to be talking about for the next like month. Oh, it's so good.
The look of disgust on Zep when he brought in the pizza.
It boggled my mind. That is one of my favorite stream moments because it came out of nowhere. It was completely organic, and it was just like Mish was away to see her folks. And I was like, I haven't had dinner. I'm gonna go order a pizza. A pizza arrived. It's fucking sideways. I called up to complain on
It's
the street.
sideways, not even upside down, sideways. It's so random.
Side, and like, I think because there was stuff with it, they like put it in a bag, and they held it by the handle instead of like placing it flat on the doorstep, which is what you would do. You put it flat. No, they were like, a handle go here, and I was just like, and did I tell you the follow up to that? I
don't know.
I know the owner. And next time I saw him, I was saying about it. I know I put it on my next order. I complained on my next order. And I said like, oh, the guy said that like on my next order I get a free pizza. Can I get my free pizza on this order, please? And he came along. He was just like, oh, your step's a bit wobbly. She probably tripped on the step. And I'm like, no, she left it on its side, on the porch. Like what? Like. And he was just like,
why did you order there again? Like, that's my question, you know, after knowing better after the first time, why did you even try? I mean, you deserved it. I
have literally 2 places in town I can order food from.
Okay.
So, because my town's small, there's 2,000 people in this town. Like, it is small. So
okay.
There's actually 2 places that deliver.
That's not even a town anymore. Like 2,000 people, that's a village.
It's small. So like I like if I want, I could walk down and I can go to one of the places which don't deliver, and I can walk home with it, or I can get it delivered and run the risk of it being sideways. As I say, I knew the owner, so they were super sound. They gave me another pizza like the next time I ordered, but it was still like when I called up, I was just like, the main thing I want to express to you is not I want a refund or I want another pizza. It's to tell your delivery person to not deliver a pizza fucking sideways. Like, I don't care. So funny. Oh, I still laugh about that.
It's like the food equivalent to those people who deliver vinyl and they just, you know, smack it in the middle and put it into the... Like, I see that so often when people post that, they're really angry about it. Like, thanks for delivering my Linkin Park vinyl, and you just see like a folded package inside of a mailbox, right?
Yeah.
And like, why would you do that? Like, you feel you can't really do that, you know? Like, there has to be some kind of resistance of the package itself. I don't know. There's just people who probably think too fast in those moments, you know? They're just like, fuck, let's just smash it down.
This person needs this package today.
Yeah. Bam! Zack, in there. And then the moment they put it in, they realize something just broke, and they just like, fuck it, I'm out of here. I need to deliver like 100 others.
At least there's some thought into it. I love the videos of like Amazon delivery drivers who like get caught on camera.
Yes.
They go up to
like
the door,
they
deliver.
Yeah.
They take a photo of it and then they pick it up and take it away again. It's so funny. It's so scumbaggy, but it's so funny.
It's so stupid. Yeah. It's amazing with what people get away with also. Like, random, because you were talking about packaging. Have you heard about that big scandal? It actually happened twice, once in Europe and once in the US. And I think the ones in the US just got caught because they learned from what happened in Europe, or the other way around. So,
okay.
Do you know what happens if Amazon gets a delivery back? So, for example, you buy a PS3 or something, and then you don't want it for some reason, and you can get a refund, right? So what happens? You have to send it back, right?
It just goes on a pallet, and then they sell the pallets, right?
Yeah, and they have to check, right, if they got the package actually back.
Oh, yeah.
So what do? They don't open it. No. What they do is they just weigh it in one of their delivery centers. They get that back, they weigh it. It's like, okay, 2.5 kilos. What's it supposed to weigh? 2.3. Okay, with packaging, probably 2.5. Okay, fine. And they send it off, you know. And there was this group of people who ordered lots of expensive shit. Like, I'm talking TVs, I'm talking whatever, for like thousands of euros. And I think in the US, we were talking about close to $1 million or something that they sent in. And what they did is they took the TV, for example, out of there, and they filled the package with exactly that amount of sand. And they sent it back. And they just got caught because somebody then again ordered that TV. And now imagine being that dude sitting at home, just being like, I was saving for that plasma TV for like 2 years, and I can't wait to finally watch the Super Bowl on it, and I hope it arrives in time. And then it arrives in time, and you set it up, and you open the package, and there's just 10 kilos of sand in there.
People do
Son
buy...
of a bitch. I'm going back to
that's
Malta. No, to Italia.
Yeah, I gotta respect those scammers though. That is like in our
creative,
capitalist society, like anyone who like profits off the back of billionaires, like fair play to you. Like if you're taking money from Daddy Bezos, you're a friend of mine.
Do it. I mean, I don't care anymore since the guy just fucking wasted so much money. I just can't, I just can't even talk about it.
They're all the worst. I hate them all. I like people. There's people out there who like fangirl over like Elon Musk, and
I
I'm
don't
like,
understand it. Yeah.
He killed crypto. Like he cost me money. Like and though I think that NFTs have actually killed crypto now. Like crypto's pretty dead.
I still don't understand NFTs, I have to admit. Like, why would you? Not as somebody selling them, because I would sell
money.
some. If it makes money, it makes money. But like, did I not understand anything about NFTs? Because as I understand it, it's like an online certificate that you are the owner of a digital piece of art.
Yep.
What is that other than a big fucking
scam?
Because or fucking money laundering for rich people. I mean, we already have that problem with real art being used for money laundering and all that shit, and talks about it being just a big scam, of rich people trying to push money around. But then at least you can on some level argue, even if it's like 5 million for a fucking white canvas, you can at least argue it's some kind of physical piece of art that somebody created, and you own. Not only you own it, that's the thing. I would say I would buy that to have it hung on my wall, and because it's worth something, of course, but mostly because I want to own it and hang it on the wall, not because I want to own it, but because owning it gives me something, and that is looking at it on the fucking wall. I
have something I actually, it fills up space right here.
Yeah.
My wall is now slightly prettier or less prettier if you get.
Well, then again, I just had a thought. I mean, you could also what's the difference between having the real Mona Lisa hang on your fucking wall or have a pretty good copy that just costs like $1,000?
If you get a really good copy of the Mona Lisa, it might actually be a size where you can fucking see it. Because the normal Mona Lisa is the size of a fucking postcard.
Yeah.
It's tiny.
Yeah, but still, like, what I mean is, you could argue the same we argue about NFTs right now. Probably we could argue about real art as well, because at some point, it's just not. It makes no fucking sense to spend so much money on something like that.
I can understand it with real art because you're like, this is a guy who died like 500 years ago. He made this painting. His painting, like, if it's like one of the, like, an old school artist, they influence this guy. That has ripple effects throughout history. Like you could say, I'm owning a piece of art, I'm owning a piece of history, I'm owning like a piece of like what has developed humanity. You can like boil it down. But like NFTs, you're just like, as Beggs is alluding to, I have a picture of a monkey. Yeah, but can I not right click it? No, you can't. Illegal. It's just like, no, shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, Wu-Tang Clan auctioning off that album.
I didn't know that.
I think that's a bit of it. Yeah, they did it. It was Martin. Do you remember Martin Shkreli? He was like It was like a pharmaceuticals. He was the pharmaceutical bro. He bought a pharmaceutical company, and then he times the cost of the medicine they were selling to keep people alive. by 5 times just immediately. So it was like, oh, your insulin that's like $100 now is $500. Give me the money or you die. Was basically his business plan. He ended up in jail for it. Good.
Well, rightfully
Yeah,
so, I'd say.
That's the thing. Like, but for the most part in America, that's no. Let's not get into the broken American
Not
healthcare
again.
system. We've already,
shit,
we've already
here we
talked
go
about
again.
the broken American political system. Yeah, NFTs. I would consider selling an NFT just to like get some money, but it also does huge environmental damage, and I think people have now seen that with NFTs and gone, isn't Bitcoin and all that the same? And it's like, yeah, it is. It burns the environment. Oh, okay, maybe we shouldn't do that. Okay. This is topical. There was an American football player last week who got signed to the Rams a few months ago. He asked for his salary in Bitcoin. His salary was $700K.
Okay.
He's going to be charged he's going to be taxed at what it was paid out at. So it's paid out at $700K. He's going to get taxed $350,000. Now with the losses in Bitcoin, after you take off the tax, he's actually getting paid $35K for the year for playing football because of the loss of Bitcoin. So yeah, assuming he still has it. Yeah. It was funny. It's so dumb.
I still like the whole Bitcoin thing is also weird. Like, I remember that like a few years ago, almost maybe 2-3 years ago. It was during Corona actually. A lot of people that I talked to, not close friends, but like, well, some close friends, but mostly like people that knew people that I knew or something like that. And you stood outside on the streets and talked about something. And then eventually somebody was like, I'm into Bitcoin. I do remember that I was standing like in the city with a friend, and there was like these two guys approaching us and started shit talking. I know they were drunk, we were drunk. You know, like one of these meetings late at night. Croatian Chat Live, thanks so much for the follow. Also, I'm the Sloth like 2 hours ago. Thanks for the follow. If you're still there, I appreciate it. Even though it might not seem like it. I just saw that. I completely forgot that that's still going. I was so into our talk, you know.
It's fair.
Anyways, like one guy tried to hook up with my friend, and then they kind of left, and I was left with that other guy, and he was like 10 years younger than me, and we had to walk into the same direction home, and he was like one of these guys where you just know, you know, they talk, and 90% of the time you're like, just shut the fuck up, you have no idea what you're talking about, seriously, but I can't make you stop talking, so I just have to endure it. And he was one of those people. And like in my head, I had this thought, you know, being like, whoops, what happened there?
I was kind of enjoying the tilted Amadeus, so
nope.
I wasn't going to say anything.
There you go. And I was like, this guy looks like a guy who's into Bitcoin, you know, who's gonna take another 10 minutes and he's gonna try to tell me to buy Dogecoin or something like that. And behold, what happened 10-15 minutes after. He explained to me that he actually is not working and he won't study because he's into Dogecoin and whatever, and he bought Dogecoin now, and it's gonna rocket off like Bitcoin, and when that happens, he's gonna be a fucking millionaire, and then he doesn't need to work. And I was like, what are you talking right now? He's like, no, it's the next big thing. It happened with Bitcoin as well. And I'm like, yeah, dude, you know how many cryptocurrencies rose and fell since Bitcoin exists, and you've never heard of them? And why not? Because you only hear the great stories of those 3 people who made money with those 2 different cryptocurrencies, you know. You don't hear the stories of thousands of people losing money with all that other shit coins, you know. She's like, no, it's the next big fucking thing. I haven't heard from Dogecoin in a long time, let's put it like that. I have no idea where it's at right now, but
someone was in my chat yesterday talking about Dogecoin and they said basically, I invest in Dogecoin, I'm sad now. And I was like, yeah, sounds about right.
Well, Yeah.
But I bought Bitcoin back when it was £80 a Bitcoin.
And let me guess, you sold it when it was like 200.
Oh no, I bought drugs.
Okay. With Bitcoin? You can buy fucking drugs with Bitcoin?
Yeah, so okay, to explain.
Wait, what? This is an actual story?
Yes, it's an actual story. Okay, so I've explained already that I rip Silk Road. I live in a very rural part of the world, right? So
it's normal.
My access to good marijuana was limited. So I started looking for alternatives, and so I stumbled across Silk Road.
Heroin.
And I was like,
no,
okay.
Wait, okay.
What? And I went onto Silk Road, and I was like, okay, I need this magical thing called Bitcoin. Don't know what that is, but I'll go into this Bitcoin exchange. I'll buy some Bitcoin, and I'll go buy my drugs. And it was a very seamless process. I used a fake name. It all arrived at my house. They were very good quality marijuanas. And it was all fantastic. But yeah, I ended up buying Bitcoin just out of pure curiosity very early on. And I said to myself, I said to my dad, no, it was even earlier than £80. It was it was dirt cheap. And I said to my dad a year later, I was like, Dad, I think there's something about this Bitcoin. It's £80 right now. For my birthday, can I have £80 to buy a Bitcoin and just hold on to it? And he was like, no, son. Listen, I am a wise man of the world. And I was like, okay. And then a few years later, it was 16 grand. And he was just like, should have bought you that Bitcoin. I was like, yeah, you fucking should have.
I mean, but fair enough. You never know. You never know. Could have gone to shit also. So.
Yeah, true.
Same with that guy in your chat being like, oh, I'm fucking sad because Dogecoin didn't do what I wanted it to do. Who knows, maybe in another universe, Dogecoin was the next Bitcoin, and that guy now sits somewhere and I don't know, asks his butler for another drink. Who knows?
There are people who became millionaires off of crypto, but
yeah, of course. But
you needed to buy 200 Bitcoin back when it was a quid each.
Yeah.
And then sold them all for 20 grand each.
Yeah.
And had the foresight to hold it to just the right time and then sold it.
Yeah, exactly. And you had to
so much had to go right.
I feel like the if later on, if it's £80 and oh, maybe it's going to be 60 grand someday, yeah, you buy one or two, because that's £160 and you feel like it's going places. But if you're at the beginning where it's 50 cents and you're like, okay, if I buy Bitcoin now for £200, and that's 400 because one is just 50 fucking cents.
Yeah.
Is it cents and pounds, or is it pounds and pennies, or?
We're pounds and pennies. But I was with you.
Whatever. So, I feel like the amount of mental work you have to do basically to go out and be like, yeah, let's spend $200, which is not a fucking lifetime of savings, but still money that I could need otherwise. Let's spend that for something which could be completely useless. Let's do that, Not a lot of people do that. And then hold on to it for 5 years or so. And go through all the roughs and ups and downs.
Yeah, I think that's part of the reason why NFTs have taken off, is because people think it's the next cryptocurrency, and the only way that you make money on cryptocurrency is to have been there on day one. So they're willing into existence that NFTs are going to be valuable, but it's just people are always going to try and make something. You know what I mean? They're going to try and make something the next Bitcoin. It's going to be happening for years with digital stuff. They'll be when NFTs fully die, it'll be WFTs or whatever, and it'll just continue like that for forever.
They'll try to make fucking money with inexistential things as long as they can. I mean, if you think about it, it's fucking
Scottish
brilliant.
Air.
It's fucking brilliant. You can you can also get a Scottish how do you say, a royalty degree or something, that you'll be a sir or something for I don't know, £100. You have one of those? Is it Sir Zep?
Well, technically it's Lord.
Lord Zep. I'm sorry, Your Highness.
Yes, you can buy square foots of land in the Scottish Highlands, and by Scottish law, if you own land, you're a lord or a laird, which is just a Scottish lord. So one Christmas, I was like, I managed to like put this money together. I did not have much money at the time, but I was just like, Dad, look, we're both lords now. And he was just like, what the fuck? He did not appreciate that gift at all.
Why not?
I'm like, Dad, I never filled in my paperwork for it, because I was just like, imagine having to put in job applications as Lord such and such.
Yeah.
Like, no, because I was looking for work at the time. and I was just like, I can't do this. And then every so often I'd be to my dad, I'd be like, Dad, you signed your paperwork yet? You're a Lord. He's like, no. I never signed it. It's somewhere in the house, but there is a patch of land in the Highlands which has got my name on it.
Nice.
But
yeah,
it's
a fun present. Would have been nice. And
yeah,
like if he complained, you just go ahead and be like, "Fuck you, Dad! You didn't get me that Bitcoin. You get a fucking fucking square meter of Scottish Highland.
You did give me my Bitcoin. I'm gonna make you a lord. Fuck you." No, it's not like, okay. After that, I just went to buying him books every year. Man likes books, and then in that last year or so, I've been like, I can't keep buying you books. I'm buying you something else. And then he's just like, oh, thank God you stopped buying me books. I'm just like, I made you a lord and you didn't like it. I bought you books, you didn't like it.
What can I do to make you proud, Dad?
He's relatively proud, at least. But yeah.
Tiny asked earlier, speaking of, have you heard of the crypto land thingy? I have not. What's that about?
That'd be such a role reversal.
I mean, you can buy him a fraction of a Bitcoin now. You can buy him Bitcoin for £80, and then give him that, and he's gonna open it, and he's like, son, what the fuck? You bought me like 0.0001 Bitcoin? Are you crazy? And you're like, yeah, Dad, that would have been a full Bitcoin 10 years ago. Fuck you.
Just like, I've never seen so many zeros in my life. It's like, yep. Yo.
Hey, sounds like foul. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in.
Does it play the naked bus when you get raided?
It's a German raid. Because it's a really bad pun. Oh, Jesus Christ. That is a really bad pun and a really good pun at the same time.
Can you explain it in English?
So, like, there's the German word Verabredung, which means, like, if you have an appointment, maybe, with a friend, you know?
Okay.
Like, sich verabreden means, like to... How do you translate this, actually? Yeah, to set a day with a friend to meet. How do you say that in English? Is there, like, one single word for that in English? Schedule a date. I don't know.
To hang out. To
hang out. Whatever.
To shoot the shit.
Yeah, and actually, like the middle part is like Verabredung, and the raid they just, switched out for raid.
Oh, they put raid in there.
Yeah,
oh.
I like that.
So it's like a friend date raid. I like that.
Yeah, I do like it. How was your stream, Foul? How was your stream?
I'll let you do the welcoming while I get up here.
Yeah, please get out of here.
So rude.
Yes, I am. I was told you can handle the meanest. Eva Eulen
has learned so much about me today. This is a man who's a lord who once bought drugs on the internet.
I just openly insulted a lord. So if I get in any guys, if I disappear next week or something, please send help.
I'll bury you in my 1 foot of land. Don't mess with me.
That would be a killer move, quite literally. So let me say a few words in German real quick.
Guten Tag.
Oh.
There you go.
Was that everything you could do?
Yes, I have a story.
Okay. Of how you learned to say that one thing.
No, I'll tell you the story after you spoke to your Germans.
Okay, so, Schmerzen sind eine Frage des Willens. Sehr gut, Amjisan. Very nice. Ich glaube, der Großteil, der gerade von V reinkommt, sind Deutsche. Also in dem Moment, in dem Sinne, Hallöchen Eva. Hallöchen Harakiri? Irgendwie so. Ja, schön, dass ihr alle da seid. Ich stream normalerweise Musik. Und heute haben wir so ein bisschen was anderes im Programm, weil heute dieser Hanswurst da ist. Der auch gerade kein Wort versteht, ist großartig. Ich könnte jeden Scheiß erzählen hier jetzt.
You said what?
It's
How
just
dare
because you
you?
heard Scheiß. It's just because you heard that one word.
How dare you say that about me? Oh my
Did I say
God.
that about you? You have no idea. You don't understand a word, so shut up.
Men, take him away.
No. Ja, genau. Heute haben wir Zep da. Zep streamt auch. Allerdings Jackbox, mittlerweile auch viel Dead by Daylight und so. Und deswegen haben wir heute einfach gedacht, wir setzen uns mal zusammen, probieren das aus, weil Zep und ich beide unglaublich gerne sehr viel Scheiße labern. Und you heard that right, Zep. This time you heard it right.
You called me a shitland? How dare you?
No, I did not. I said we like to talk shit all the time, and that's why we thought about doing this, you know. Genau, das Ganze hält sich auf Englisch, einfach um mehr Leute im Chat irgendwie mit einzubeziehen, genau. Deswegen, wenn ihr auch Englisch sprecht, halten wir den Chat natürlich auf Englisch. Wenn ihr was auf Deutsch sagen wollt, ist aber auch gar kein Problem. Ihr könnt vor allem gerne super viel lästern über den Kerl hier. Denn, ich meine, er nickt auch, ne? Er ist da voll dabei. Wir haben auch kein besonderes Thema übrigens heute Abend. Wir hüpfen einfach so von einem zum anderen irgendwie, von A über B nach Z. Ja, also schön, dass ihr da seid. Beteiligt euch gerne. Wenn ihr irgendwie Themen habt, wo ihr denkt, die beschäftigen euch zurzeit oder so, schmeißt die doch in den Chat. Und wir schauen mal, wo wir dabei landen. So, alright, let's get back to English, Sam. I did not talk shit about you. Almost.
Thank you.
Almost at all.
Almost,
a little bit. A little bit at the end there. But
that's understandable.
you provoked it. You provoked it. Totally provoked it. I guess I'm waking up a little bit right now. Maybe I'll get a glass of... I don't have any beer left, I think. But I think I'll get a glass of whiskey later on.
Yeah, so the one time I spoke to another German person other than yourself, when I was in high school...
Wait, you cheated on me? When was that?
I'm saying when I was in high school. This was like 15 years ago.
That's when you developed that taste.
Exactly. The taste for the German. I must have been like first year, like my first year of high school. It was very early on, and we had some German exchange students, and it was some sort of like sports day. We didn't see them until the sports event thing, and me and my friends were hanging out, and we were in this area where, as German people were heading out into the fields, we were like in their path. And so I was being a friendly Scotsman. I was saying, Guten Tag to every German person I saw. And eventually there was a group of like sassy German ladies or girls who walked up, and I said, Guten Tag. And they were like, Guten Tag, Guten, like mocking me. And I was like,
That's so mean.
I was just trying to be nice. And then until we spoke, I never spoke to another German person again.
Just because of that?
No,
You're
just
traumatized.
You're
traumatized. Just open up, Zep. It was an emotional wound you couldn't cope with.
I mean,
but that's too bad. Like, why would you do that? Like, seriously, kids can be so cruel sometimes.
So cruel. I was just trying to be a friend. I was just trying to welcome them to my glorious country.
I mean, of course, like, Guten Tag is something nobody would say in Germany to welcome someone else or to say hi, you know? Maybe.
It's such a British thing. Good day. A good day.
Yeah.
That's what it means, right?
Emphasis on British.
British. Yeah, you know, I'll welcome the Germans to the fine land of Britain by speaking British German at them.
Good morrow, fine sir. It is a good morning, isn't it?
In it, bruv.
In it, bruv. Oh god.
Like, were you there when Grumpy did his Matt A.L. impression? That was so funny.
Oh god, yes.
When he did the whole like
going like that.
So funny. Oh man.
I miss Grumpy.
Thank you for using
we need him back in the streaming landscape. Seriously.
I do believe he's streaming in the next few weeks. I do believe.
Yeah, I mean, I saw him go live a few times, but like at times that were so different from my regular being awake times. That
Yes.
just didn't work out for me. Just didn't.
Yeah, he's. I mean, it's just because he's on Japan time now. Like
Yeah.
when.
What is that?
when
That's
he
like
does,
a few hours ahead of me instead of going back.
it's like 7 hours ahead of you.
Probably more.
So, like-
is it only 7 or is it more?
I don't know, maybe.
eight.
Like I know that the last like sort of evening for us stream he did, he was starting at like 6, 7,
Wait, let me
8 a.m.
check.
or something stupid.
Time in Japan.
It's 12
Okay, right now
hours.
in Japan it's 6:50 in the morning. Yeah, it's 8 hours actually for me. So for you, it's 9 hours even.
Damn.
Okay. Wait, you're an hour back, right? For you, it's closing in on 10 right now.
Yeah, it's 10 to
Okay,
10.
yeah, for me on 11. Yeah. 12 for you.
Yeah.
Holy, ooh.
I mean, like, I totally understand why he's kind of dropped off of streaming. I mean, he's off on his own adventure, really.
Yeah, I
Which
mean,
is,
he also has a fucking
yeah.
job, you know.
yeah.
Like you
Which he
can't...
told me was pretty easy. He told me he was like it's so much easier than his last job, and I'm just
Okay.
like, oh, okay, look
Good
at
for
you.
him. Good for him.
Yeah. I mean, if it's totally the dream, right?
I have a friend who also, well, more of an acquaintance by now. We haven't had much contact in the last few years, but it's super funny. Like, I mean, I did learn some Japanese at university for 3 years actually, and at some point I was also tutoring first years, and he was a first year in my class that I did once a week. And I mean, he was good, you know. You could see like he was not like one of the people who went there just because they needed some extra lessons or something. Like, he was into it. And fast forward to now, he's working for Google in Japan now. And he's living there. He has a German, well, I don't know, I think still girlfriend, but probably wife at some point. It's only a matter of time, but he's there now, you know. And same there, you know, like living the dream in a fucking 14 square meter apartment in Tokyo. I don't know if that'd be for me. Like, I was there twice and I really enjoyed it visiting. But it was good to be back as well. I mean, I still miss it sometimes. Every time I see like a I like, you know, these small these trees, these acorn trees, I think, with like really small, very fine leaves. I don't know. Every time I see one of those in Germany, I'm like, ah, shit, I want to go back, just for 2 weeks.
I never went to Japan. It was our plan just before COVID struck was to go to Japan, which is absolute pisser.
Oh, shit.
So
you had everything planned and booked already?
no, but we had some money set aside for it, and we were like, we're just about to start planning it, and then COVID hit.
Yeah,
so,
and then you spent all of it on a small piece of land in the Scottish Highlands and lots of
I already
marijuana.
had that. I mean, luckily, like when things open back up, we'll be in a position where we can afford to go. We'll see, but it's not for the Olympics. I went to China for the Olympics, kind of.
You did?
Yeah.
I was also in China, like during that time period. I don't know if it was shortly before, after, or actually during the Olympics.
Were you in Beijing?
Yes.
Oh my God,
For
we
2
were like
weeks actually. 2 weeks
I was
Beijing
there
and
for,
1
like-
week 1 week Shanghai and
I was
Hangzhou.
like 2 weeks. I was like, no, I was more than 2 weeks. I was just over 2 weeks in Beijing.
That was like 2008, right?
Yeah, 2008.
Fucking hell.
We were in the same city.
We were
on
in the
other side
same
of the world
fucking
at the
city in
same time.
China during the same time, like
Oh, that's bad.
14 years ago. What the fuck?
So, like, my dad has a friend out there. So we were like, he was like, look, if you're gonna come see China, do it during the Olympics. They're super open to tourists right now. Everything's translated for the most part. We're like, okay, cool. And then we stayed in my dad's friend's mother's apartment, who lived on a university campus, so we had like good amenities nearby. But it was where the boxing was being held, and so we had this ongoing joke with the people who lived there. We bumped into them and like around the place, and they'd be like, "Oh, are you here for the boxing?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm here for the boxing, and here's my dad, he's my coach." And we just have this like ongoing banter with the locals. It was great. I think they probably took it serious though. But yeah, it was like I think I was just a little bit too young for it. Like I was like 15, 16, but like
I was 14 actually. Yeah.
I was like I found the culture shock really tough.
Same. What was it about China that confused or set you off the most during that time?
It was one event which I found really triggering, which was I was on a bus and I just sat down on a seat, and this lady just started shouting at me in Chinese, really like a ton after like 5-10 minutes, and I was just like,
so you're
like,
sitting
what's
there
wrong?
for 10 minutes already, and then she started shouting at you.
Yeah, but apparently she was like muttering something, like she was talking away, and I didn't know it was aimed at me.
Okay.
But she was like muttering something, and I'd sat in an elderly person seat.
Oh.
But I didn't read the sign. I didn't know, and she had her dad with her, and he was just sat in a normal seat, and she was like basically saying these fucking tourists. So like, and so she went off on me on this bus, and I timidly moved to another seat, and it just like I was in that age where I could, like, I felt confident enough to stand up for myself, and be like, yo, I don't know, I can't read Chinese. Like what do you want from me? Like,
also, why do you have to be rude about it? Like, I mean, there's two ways to go about something like that, right? You can just start shouting in your own language, even though you apparently know the other person can't understand you, just because you're angry. You know, that gets you nowhere, that doesn't get you what you want, that just provokes a conflict, and that makes someone and yourself probably feel uncomfortable. Whereas you could also try to use her fucking hands to, I don't know, she could have as well walked up to you, showed you the sign, even if you can't read it, showed you her dad and showed you the, and you would have been, even if you didn't know it was an elder seat, you would have been, oh, you want me to stand up for that old guy? Yeah, sure, we'll do that, you know.
Yeah, but, and I think part of it was my dad's friend who was there, like, wasn't taking it seriously. I was just like she was bouncing off a little bit, and it was just like, whatever sort of thing. But she was like aiming it all at me, and I just like felt very. I like, as someone who was already very I was uncomfortable, like it was really hot, and I'm used to quite a cold climate, and the food was very weird. I didn't understand what anyone was saying. I didn't understand what any of the signs said. I was just very much devoid of information and just devoid of everything. That it was just a constant state of uncomfort, and that kind of like really set me off. And I think I like hunkered down in our apartment for a few days after that, just like, I don't want to go outside. I'm just gonna go around to the subway around the corner, and that's all I'm gonna do. Go away. Because I like, other than my furthest journey before that had been like France. Like, it was such a leap from like France, where I could understand the letters and kind of understand the language, to China, where I couldn't speak a single word of Chinese other than ni hao, which was hello.
Yeah.
And
that was Amadeus. That's the other thing I can say.
How was your experience in China? Did you find that culture shock really traumatic, or was it not as big for you? Yeah.
Yes. So, backstory on how I got there with 14. Actually, my school had a Chinese extracurriculum thingy.
Okay.
They were like, okay, we want to be super nice and cool, so we actually get that Chinese teacher, which she was Chinese, and we offer for students to stay late after school and learn Chinese. So, because it's the language of the future, and you know, shit like that. Because Chinese is gonna be big, China is gonna be big in the future. I mean, they were right about that. So a few people, me not included, by the way, I never learned Chinese, were attending that class. And because the school wanted the prestige as well, you know, to be special, etc., they organized, through their Chinese teacher, they organized a student exchange with a Chinese private school in Beijing. there were like once or twice there were students from over there were at ours, and then when I was in 9th grade, so when I was like 14 years old, 2008, they decided that they'd send some of the students from our school to China for 3 weeks. 1 week was like basically some tour traveling with a tour guide. We flew to Shanghai, then we drove with a bus through to several stations along the way to Hangzhou, which is like west from Shanghai. And then from there we flew to Beijing, and then we were at the school in Beijing for 2 weeks, effectively. Mm-hmm. And it was a super interesting experience. The first week was amazing, you know. I mean, I didn't really realize where I was and what was happening. I was fucking 14, and I was all around traveling. It was the first time I was outside in another country, I think, even. And the first time flying, and the first time everything, you know. It was crazy. Didn't think I could process it, really. And the first week was great, really interesting, but like really touristy. I mean, we were at the Great Wall and all that shit. Oh, that one wasn't later in Beijing, right? Yeah. Anyways, the 2 weeks at the school, we were actually sleeping in
dorms?
Dorms. Yeah, because it was a private school, and the children were there from grade 4 on, like first grade of high school, first class of high school. They were staying on campus for the whole week, and they only went home on the weekends. And then first thing that happened was that they were like, okay, so we have a few empty rooms with a few beds, but if we count how many beds we have, there's like 2 people who have to share rooms with other exchange students who were there at the time. There's like one room with 3 Japanese guys, and there's 1 bed free, and then there's this one room with 3 guys from Kazakhstan, there's also room free. And I was 14 at the time, and the people in those 2 rooms were like 18, 19. They were like last grade of high school, you know. Yeah. Really intimidating stuff, you know, for a 14-year-old who's out of the country, and a 14-year-old introvert like me back then, going outside of his own country for the first time. And then we had to draw straws, of course, because 2 people had to go to those rooms, right? And not spend quality time with their friends. Guess who got in with the Kazakhstan guys? This guy.
Oh, that guy.
There we are. So, me going in there, it was just these buff dudes hanging out there, talking in their language all the time, and I didn't understand a word, and I was super uncomfortable the whole time. And the first thing they did, they always were smoking because smoking was prohibited, and there was like this janitory lady, this 70-year-old janitory lady walking around, waking up the students in the morning and shit, and checking if they break any rules. Which was also super weird. She just came randomly into the rooms to check in on people, you know, like, what the hell? Yeah. So these 3 Kazakhstan guys were always smoking under the shower. You know, they turned on the shower, and they started smoking, and they were always giving me the looks, you know, because the shower was just like this lengthy room, which was facing directly onto the bed I was sleeping on. And I was just sitting there, minding my own business, waiting for somebody to pick me up there. And those guys were like smoking, looking at me, be like, don't tell on us. Man. And then they gave me, I also fondly remember how they welcomed me. I was sitting on there, the Chinese lady talked to them, explained who I am, you know, what I do here. She went out, and then one guy smiled at me, went to the bathroom, came back with a pack of toilet paper, just handed that to me, and was like, on English, like with his thick accent. I'm not good at imitating that, but it was like, he said something like, without saying hi or anything, like, here, because how you want to shit without it?
What?
Because there was actually no toilet paper in the fucking rooms there. Nowhere in the school. They didn't have toilet paper next to the toilets. What? You had to bring that yourself. Everybody had his own toilet paper. So that was a weird culture shock.
To be fair, he gave you toilet paper, which was a valuable commodity at the time.
Yes.
That's quite a good welcome gift, I think.
Yeah. I mean, they took care of me in their own ways, but so I mean, they weren't bad guys, probably, you know. Like, I just was super intimidated by them being like, fucking hell, by them being like much older than me, also super outgoing and direct, and I was like, you know, super introverted back then, so it was just the worst thing ever. And I was, you know, I was like, of course I'm the one who fucking gets the fucking room with 3 guys who smoke all the time in the shower. So that kind of ruined the experience a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's not just like culture shock, that's like social shock as well. That's
yes, totally. And the funny thing is,
Like,
in that case, it's not even Chinese people, you know? Like, my culture shock was with 3 guys from Kazakhstan.
in China.
In China! What are the chances?
So random. I remember, though, when I was there, my dad's friend's daughter was in high school. And it was coming up to, like, exam time. And they're like, I don't know what it's like in Germany, but, like, we study for exams, like, in the evenings at the weekend.
What do you mean, no? We never study. We're just fucking intelligent, you know? Like...
Oh yeah, exactly. She was like, they would be like, oh yeah, she's in the school for 12 hours each day, all week, and then she's gonna be in there 12 hours, or like 8 hours, or like slightly less than 12, each day of the weekend. Like they did mad work. Yeah. Like the curriculums in China seemed like just so brutal. Yeah.
Also, the whole school was fucked up. I mean, it was like this private school for rich kids, right? But still, I saw so many things there. When looking back, you know, it was an interesting experience. I really value it that I had the opportunity at that age to experience something like that, right? But at the same time, when I went back, and a lot of people were like, okay, and now, I mean, for especially for the Chinese school, it was also kind of an advertisement thing, you know. And I mean, it was in Beijing, so probably the fucking government had its interests in that whole thing as well.
Oh,
right?
for sure.
Like, and they thought probably, okay, these kids come back and they'd be like, oh, China is so great, I'm gonna learn Chinese now, and the culture is amazing, and I want to go there when I grow up and maybe work there, and then I want to have relations with their companies over there and have a great job, you know. What happened is I came back and I was like, oh, I never want to step a single foot into that country again in my whole damn life. Never. Not under any circumstance. It was crazy.
There was I remember my dad's friend's family. This is the funny bit. Like, there's a few like odd and funny things I remember from there. But I remember for the Olympics, they brought out this rule which was like, to reduce the smog in Beijing, which you'll remember was terrible. Yeah. I remember one day it rained, and the next day there was no smog, and it was beautiful. And then the rest of the time there was smog. But to reduce that, they were like, if your registration plate ends in an odd number, you can drive this day, and the next day it's even numbers. Yeah. And it alternates forevermore.
I mean, it's that, you have to admit, that's a fair system.
Well, until my dad's friend's family just bought a second car with a different registration plate. And they bought a Jeep.
So stupid.
They bought a Jeep. And I was like, yo, this system's a bit broke.
Kind of counterproductive, right?
It's so counterproductive.
Oh, God.
It was so funny. Like, it's just like, oh, we got to take the Jeep today because it's even number day. So weird.
So stupid.
I'd have some fond memories of Beijing, but mostly like the touristy stuff. So like,
yeah, exactly. Like the optics, basically. Like, I really enjoyed the cultural sites. I really enjoyed, you know, like visiting a few shrines, etc., visiting old Beijing. But like, as soon as I was coming into contact with the actual modern culture, I was out. Like, the school was crazy. They had practicing rooms. To speak a little bit about music, right? There was like this one guy who was a pianist. He was a student there. He was about 16 or 17 years old back then. And because they told me back then to like, there was like a ceremony at the end of the stay of the 2 weeks. And they told like, yeah, that piano guy is playing the piano. And since I was the only guy playing the piano who went there, so let's play something as well. And then he had to show me the practice room so I could practice a little bit. Capsic, you're so immature. Like, so immature. So Zep, stop laughing. You're encouraging these people.
I was laughing more at your response than anything.
And he showed me the rooms, and the rooms, like, imagine a corridor where like 2 people can stand next to each other more or less comfortably, and then left and right there's like room, right? Chip.
Yeah.
About 8 or 10 rooms, and the rooms were about, I don't know, probably like 10 square meters or so. So there was like an acoustic piano in there, like an upright piano on the wall. Like you went into the room, and then on the right side there was like the piano. In the middle there was the bench, and then there was already like the wall. So there was just enough space for you to go in there, sit there, maybe put your bag into a corner and practice.
Jesus.
I don't remember if it had a window, I have to admit. I don't remember that. In my mind, it didn't, but maybe I'm just making it worse than it actually was. Fair enough. Like, maybe
sounds
it had
pretty
a window.
bad to either way.
But yeah, it already sounded bad. And you could lock these doors from the outside, but not from the inside. So basically, he told me what they sometimes do is
piano slave rooms.
Like they put the children there, and then they lock the doors from the outside for an hour or so. So they have to practice for an hour. And they were like, yeah, because like even if you don't want to practice, eventually you get so bored that you just play, you know?
What the fuck?
You're like, what the hell is going on here?
I don't know why that reminded. Do you know how I passed the time when I was there? What I did for fun? This is the dumbest thing. If you had to think of the dumbest way to pass the time, a way that could get you killed, this was how I passed the time.
Wait, what?
When I was there, I bought a laser pointer.
You don't have to continue talking. What the fuck, Zeb? Are you crazy?
I bought a laser pointer, and it was one of the ones where you could buy it in China and it was legal there. It wasn't legal in the UK when I brought it back, so don't tell anyone. But so
Are you mental?
to pass the time, I was shining my laser pointer at the armed guards.
Why is that funny? Why is that even funny? It's a fucking miracle that you're still sitting here.
I was like, I wonder how.
A fucking idiot. That's what you were.
It was so dumb, but I don't know why. I just thought it was funny. I was just shining my laser pointer at these armed guards of the Olympic venue, and I was just like, this is fun. And then they'd look around, and I would like hide, and that was my. Oh yeah. So hi. Don't tell the Chinese government I said that.
Does your community know that their leader is a fucking idiot?
When I was a kid, I was.
Yeah, alright. I mean, when you're young, you do stupid stuff like that.
I would do that now.
Yes,
I know.
do, really. Thanks.
Yeah, they know, bro.
I mean, I did have an encounter with armed guards in China as well. So, but that was way more intimidating.
That shocked me when I first got there. Was like when I stepped off the plane, one of the first things I saw was like guys in full SWAT gear with like I don't know, like some sort of assault rifle. I was just like, from the UK, you're never really around guns, so this was like, oh shit, these guys got guns. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. At the weekends after the school, like while we were staying at that school, 2 of us each were paired and sent home with one of the students to stay at their home with the parents, etc.
Oh, okay.
That was kind of interesting because there were children from different social levels. How do you say? Not social.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
social
what I mean.
hierarchy, I guess. Yeah.
Because there were some students. I mean, it was still a rich kid school, but there were still some people, you know, who probably were like getting some kind of
A grant or something.
yeah, because they were talented or really good at something or whatever. And like some of us, like two of us actually ended up like near the slums, for example, in in the Beijing outskirts. I don't know, like told some pretty rough stuff they saw there. Me and my buddy, on the other hand, were getting paired with that kid, which was also super. We were 14 years old, and the kid we got paired with was like 8 or 9, so we had no idea what to do with him, and he did not speak English at all. It was really weird. And the parents picked us up. The parents also didn't speak English, but the aunt did. So they invited the aunt for like during dinner, etc., so she could speak to us.
Okay.
No idea what they thought, why they did that. Anyways, they were rich. They were fucking rich. They drove outside of Beijing and into this gated community, and there was like 2 gates actually, armed guards everywhere, patrolling out on the streets, and the houses there all looked like super Western. It looked like we were on a movie set for a movie in, I don't know, the American suburbs or something like that, you know, like it was super weird, and every house looked the same, and nobody was outside. Everything looked super clean, and it was really like a movie set. It was super weird, but people lived there, and only once, first the parents told us to not look outside of the windows, you know, at the guards, because they were apparently watching us. They were like, okay, there's like these 2 European kids. Who knows what they do here? Let's have an eye on them. And there was always... They must
start talking about capitalism. Get them out of here.
Always a guard in front of the house, patrolling like casually up and down with his assault rifle, you know. And once we went outside, because the exchange student, the 8-year-old, was like, hey, let's play some basketball outside. There's like 3 houses away from here. There's like a court we can play on. And we went there, and the guard followed us the whole time, like with like 10 meters away. It was super weird. It was really weird. I don't know. And I was like, how can you live there? You know, like, how can you spend your life like that? I mean, the whole country is basically a bit like that, right? And I hope I can say that, and the stream doesn't get shut down now, but like, like, what the hell is going on with that country? How can you live in a country? I mean, you don't have a choice, basically. I get that. Stupid question, right? But it hurts me thinking about people who are a bit more open-minded, living in a country like that, where it feels like living in that gated community, but everywhere, you know? At least if you live probably in one of the biggest cities, where you feel like you're being watched and all the time, and you're and not just being watched and then somebody's going like, don't do that, but like you do something wrong and you end up in jail for 2 years, or you just fucking disappear, and then you come back and you're like supporting the party all of a sudden, you know, like stuff like that. It happens all the time, and I don't get that. Crazy.
I remember my dad very boldly asked his pal's wife about Tiananmen Square, and she just like leant in and whispered to him, "The walls have ears," and said nothing more. And I was like, holy fuck. Like, as Westerners, like, the concept that you couldn't speak your mind or like talk about something that happened is just utterly bizarre. But yeah, I mean, people just like they both spoke perfect English. They could have lived anywhere on Earth, but they still chose to stay there, you know.
But I don't know actually how easy it is, even if you want to get out of the country, to get out of the country.
True.
Especially if you have money, because then the government has even more of an interest to keep you in, right? I guess. I don't know. I'm just assuming things here, but
yeah. No, it is very bizarre. That in that circumstance of like the armed guards, it feels less of they're there for their protection and more they're there to
exactly
keep them in line.
Yeah.
That's So sinister, man.
That's great. It's
No,
like fucking dystopia.
Yeah.
Dystopia? Dystopia.
Dystopian, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I didn't have. I had that moment about that, and beyond that, I didn't have too many moments that made me see the more like dystopian political sides of it when I was there. But then at the same time, I was young as well, and homesick, and yeah, I what? Yeah, it's
oh, I'm just.
it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in. But I look forward to going to Japan. It's going to happen one day, I hope. And then, yeah, I don't know where else.
What's other countries?
I think.
Yeah. Okay, you just answered that question. You don't know.
I don't know, but I mean, if I had to, I mean, not if I had to, but I do want to go to Scandinavia. I've been to like Denmark and stuff, and that was really good. I would love to go to Scandinavia again. Shut the. I'm just sad.
Yeah, shut the
Canada?
fuck up, seriously. Canada must have been cold. Canada, actually, I want to go to Canada sometime. I also thought about doing if I ever go to the US, it'd be like, that's the thing. The one thing I would want to do in the US is do a road trip for like 2 months. Just go to the East Coast, like fly to the East Coast, spend maybe a day in New York just to say you've been there, just to experience the craziness of it. Then rent a car, and then just drive west. And without a plan, basically, or maybe just a rough outline. Just go and be like, oh, that looks nice. Let's drive there. Let's see what's up there, you know? Just to get to know the country, because I feel like a lot of things I know is just fucking television, and then all the bad stuff that you know from the media, you know? Like, I would love to see what the country's really like, you know? But then again, if I spend 2 months driving into the nothingness in the US, I also have like a healthy amount of respect of getting randomly shot somewhere in the desert or something, you know, and left there for the snakes. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm dramatic, but I am dramatic. But still, like, I thinking about the US, maybe also because of all the weird media stuff, you know. And I mean, even if you hear about like 10 things happening in the US is a big country, right? And maybe it's as much shit happens in Germany without us noticing. I don't know, but just there's like some general unease when I think about being on my own in the US. It's super weird. Can't explain it. Like, it's so weird. It's so weird. Like, yeah, Ellie, of course, you know, that's the thing. Like, if I think about it real good, I know it's complete bullshit, you know, like, not gonna happen if I'm behaving like an idiot and take every risk I can.
Shining
That's
laser
something
pointers
else.
at armed guards, then yeah.
For
maybe,
example,
maybe
you know, like, or I don't know. But still, it's just that little man in my head being like, "Are you sure it's safe here?"
I think I think that it is that culture of guns that we just don't. We don't have anything close to that in Europe, I don't believe. I mean, the Russians like guns, but I think that I saw a video the other day. It was like how every European sees America, and it was like someone was walking their assault rifle, and some kids were whacking a piñata, and handguns fell out, and it was just like, yeah, it's pretty much like when we think of America, like one of the first things we think about is, yeah, they got guns, and the average European gets scared of guns, as they should do.
Yeah, I am actually. I am. I mean, yeah, I'm not being randomly shot at a supermarket or something, you know, but like I have to say, it just fills me with a certain kind of unease, knowing that, like in Germany, I feel a certain kind of unease if I'm at a supermarket late at night and there's just that guy standing in front of the vegetables who's blocking the way, and I need to get past him, and he just looks like he's about to make a scene or about to be a fucking idiot, you know? I'm like, okay, I don't like this. It's gonna be super weird, and I feel uneasy, you know. But if I slip past and if I don't look at him, even if something happens, the worst that can happen is he tries to beat me up. I try to defend myself until somebody comes there and gets him away from me, you know? Whereas in the US, I feel like, even though, of course, that even if that guy has a weapon, it's the next level to actually draw it and shoot somebody randomly, you know? But like, I would just be like, yeah, actually, whatever I say, this guy could have a weapon on him. It's just a weird feeling, you know? It's just a weird feeling.
That's one thing that does concern me in the UK is like I avoid standoff and hostility and fights because I know there's a like 0.001% of Brits that if you fight them, and this is probably the same in Germany, if you fight them, they will, if you hit the ground, they will stomp on your head. And like I can handle a fight. Like I don't, it doesn't really bother me. The idea of like brain damage or anything like that, like, is one of my worst fears. And that there's nothing else about life in the UK which I ever get at all scared about. But like the thought of going out one night and getting into a fight and that leading to getting kicked in the head is the one thing. Like in the supermarket, don't mind too much. The staff are gonna jump in.
Supermarket was probably a stupid example.
Yeah, no, but
anyways,
I know what you mean.
But,
Though.
you know, Karuba, by the way, thanks so much for the follow. Oder vielen Dank für den Follow. Ich glaube, du bist auch Deutscher, wenn ich das richtig verstanden habe. Yeah, I mean, Karuba said something, right? Like, that's probably as true as we Germans all the time have Oktoberfest and drive at 350 kilometers on the Autobahn, like on the highway. But, you know, the thing is, Karuba, though, I do agree. Of course, we don't have Oktoberfest all the time. Of course, we don't walk around in these traditional clothes all the time. Even, especially since that is just Bavarian culture, not even German culture. It's just one state in Germany, you know? That's like saying Texas is all of the US, you know? It's all, I don't know, cowboys.
But then a lot of people think of Texas as the US.
That's also true, yeah. Just a similar thing, you know? But then again, of course, not everybody's driving like that fast on the highway. It's just like a selected few. But then again, still there's people driving like that on the highway. And if you're in general somebody who doesn't like to drive around maybe and feels insecure about that, as I feel insecure about somebody having a fucking gun, I could completely understand if you don't feel safe on the German highway. Because I mean, I've seen people driving on German highways where I'm like, that guy just has to, there just has to be that too big stone on the highway or something, and he has to brake or something happens, and there's fucking 10 people dead, you know?
Yeah. I also, like, even in America, I remember seeing, now I'm getting into like next level territory, but still, I watched a video the other day about how like the majority of people killed in America aren't killed by the people trying to shoot them. It's people who have like shot bullets up in the air either at someone and missed, or like shot it up celebratory and the bullets have come down elsewhere and hit someone and killed them. And I'm just like, you don't even have to get into a confrontation. You could just be wandering around and some guy 12 miles away wanted to celebrate the birth of his daughter with some random gunfire, and now you're dead. And it's just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, like the Americans are going to be like, "Yo, Zep, you're being like really."
That was that one time that was in the news, and there's like millions of people living in the US, and you take that one case, and yes, you do, but still,
it still happens. Whereas like, I do take solace in the fact that like in the UK, like there was a school shooting, one of the only school shootings in our history in the 90s. They banned all handguns and disposed of them all. And so I never really have to worry about getting shot. Apart from, I had a friend who always got shot with a shotgun. That's a different story.
Weird real talk. Like, first, Hilly, no, it's not. It's not. You know, there's way worse countries.
We were just talking about one.
Yeah, we're just talking about one. Basically. But also,
Spain.
Talking about feeling safe, etc. And you saying about shootings, like real talk for a second, like real talk. in my hometown, actually, like hometown, in the town where I was born, where my grandparents, both of my grandparents still live, etc. A few days ago, was it 2 days ago? There was a shooting at the university. Like some random
Really?
18-year-old biology student or medicine student or something went into the how do you say, where you have like lessons, etc. Like
Classroom.
not the classroom, like the bigger
Auditorium?
one, the auditorium or something. Yeah, went into the auditorium or stood up there. I don't know the exact details. And yeah, got out I think it was a rifle, and like shot around him. Like one student died, I think, and 3 are hurt. And then he
Jesus.
went outside of the building and shot himself. And I'm like, that's crazy and horrible. And it happened. It also happened in Germany. Like even in a city where you would never think, like if somebody told me that happened in Berlin or something, somewhere in a weird street, I'd be like, that's horrible, but okay, maybe in Berlin something like that happens, like not in that city. It's super, super weird. And so even though we are talking about the US, etc., and I don't want and I can't compare numbers here or anything, because if something like that happens, every single time it is one time too often, full stop, is how I see it. So I don't want to compare it like, oh, Germany is much safer because we only had that many shootings in the last 10 years.
One shooting is too many.
One shooting is too many, yeah. And you can't compare, like the size of countries is also different, whatever. And as you say, still, one is too many.
We still,
But still, like it's mostly about that thing about the general unease, you could say. I'm not saying that I think that there's a higher chance or a considerably higher chance in the US as a tourist to be shot than in Germany, maybe there is, maybe it's really small, whatever, I don't know, I'm just saying, like, just knowing that you are allowed to have a gun in a certain country, might be the US, might be other countries as well. There are other countries on the world where it's allowed to have a gun as well, where it's maybe even worse, because theoretically, at least in the US, everybody owning a gun also has a license for it, Again, theoretically, there's other countries where it's far worse. I'm just saying, like there's some, knowing that in the back of my mind creates some general unease walking around, Probably if I'm there, after a while I completely forget and I'm just sucked into it, and then I'm like, oh, it's the same as in Europe, I'm in fucking New York, who cares? But it's just that.
It's still understandable. Like, I mean, like even in the UK, we do get shootings, especially in London. But it's like the same as you said with Berlin. It's strange that like your capital city tends to see things that the rest of your country doesn't see. I don't think Scotland's had a shooting since the Drumblane massacre, which was in the 90s. So maybe 25 years. It doesn't mean that there's not horrific crime and violence at times in Scotland. It still happens, but I think it's just so drilled into us in Europe that when we think of America, that we know it's more prevalent, and you just see it, like but yeah, like we're never gonna be able to get rid of guns, but hey, here we are.
Probably not. Hey, Butterhouse, welcome in.
How's it going,
How you
Butterhouse? I still want to know what country Amjasam was talking about. Rams was playing? I'm thinking of Spain, but Spain seems pretty safe. What are you on about?
Can I think of any other country rhyming with plane?
I can't. Oh, okay. You're talking about Drumblane. Okay, I'm with you now. Workshop next month. I'll keep it. Yeah, please do.
Oh,
Hilly.
yeah, interesting.
I think it's the if like guns in America really, like, if any time someone shot you it was a crime, then I might be more at ease. But when I see stories where it's like someone shoots someone else and then they're like, oh, they used their stand their ground lore to shoot this guy in the back as he ran away. It's like, and they didn't serve a single moment in prison. It's like, when you legalize murder, it's so fucking whack. It's so bad. I mean, even we had a mass shooting a few years ago. A guy went into hospital, and well, yeah, that's horrible, Tiny.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm just on. What about the Chris Rock strategy? Make guns cheap
Yeah.
and bullets incredibly expensive.
I remember that sketch. That sketch really good. That's really good.
Could work. Could work.
We're trading on safety and guns and bombs at work because we're owned by an American company. But you don't need it in Canada. I guess we take it for we take living in Europe for granted. That for the most part, we live in a very safe part of the world.
Yes, like especially like me living in Germany in the 2000s, in Europe, in the part of Germany where I lived also.
Yeah.
Feels like the most privileged thing that has ever happened and will ever happen to me. Like, it's so weird, and it feels so weird to say this, but it is such a weird feeling to know that you probably had it better in so many ways than, like, I don't know, like 95% of the rest of the world, you know? I mean, not saying
Sure.
that it's that much better than, I don't know, being born in France or in Scotland, right? But it's so weird to know that. And also during that time, especially like time-wise, you know, like I feel like it's a horrifying idea, but like sometimes I feel like from here on out, it's only gonna get downwards, guys. You know, like I'm at the point where I just embrace it, you know, fuck it, it's gonna happen. But let's enjoy it as long as we can, and of course let's also try to keep it that way. Not saying, you know, like, oh fuck it, let's do whatever we want, but like still it's a weird feeling to know, like, medicine wise, you just go back 100 years, 200 years, if you go back 1,000 years, holy shit, like people just died left and right of the stupidest things ever, you know, like if you look at the general population like the general population in Europe in like the medieval ages, it's crazy how little people lived in Europe, you know, as a total. And then there was like things like the Black Pest and stuff like that, and then like all of a sudden half of Europe is just fucking dead, you know, because you can't do shit about it. And even though like right now we are having like a pandemic, and even though it's horrible, and you can criticize a lot of things about how some countries and some governments handle the whole thing, right? And even though, of course, especially poorer countries are suffering a lot because of it, it's crazy to think what this would have done 100 years ago or 200 years ago, you know?
It would have.
I mean,
it
we
would have
had a
killed
vaccine.
A lot more people.
We had a vaccine for that in a year or two. How crazy is that?
Yeah, modern technology and modern science. I mean, if the Black Plague came around today, maybe we could treat it and not have lost half of Europe like we did back in the day. Yeah, I mean, we are, out of any period in human history, we are absolutely privileged to live when we do, because you know, we have the benefit of thousands of years of human evolution behind us, of human learning, of human medicine, technology. All of our ancestors had to make those mistakes so that we can live the lives that we live today. So yeah, we are truly privileged, and especially to live in the countries that we do, where, you know, we don't have a fear of, like, if we had kids, them going to school and getting shot, or we don't have a fear of you know, like drug gangs and cartels or whatever. Those are such alien concepts to us. We are very privileged to be in those positions, and not everyone else is that lucky. I saw something about the Black Plague coming back from like uh, a like there was some animal that defrosted somewhere in Russia, and like an
What?
outbreak of Black Plague. Yeah, outbreak of Black Plague started up there.
That's crazy.
Mad. That's how climate change kills people, folks. Plagues come back from the dead.
Huh, interesting. Super treatable though. Interestingly, I didn't know that. Also interesting what user said. The plague could have been better prevented with basic hygiene, of course, which is why it did not spread much in Poland. I didn't know Poland had such good hygiene back then.
It's like hygiene was one of the first steps in human evolution.
Yeah.
The humans who discovered soap from cooking meats near water, the fats of the meat running into the water, and then they just happened to be washing themselves there. They lived longer.
Every time somebody says something about the invention of soap, I have to think about Donnie Darko, because there's like this one point where he walks with Gretchen Ross. Have you seen the movie?
No, I haven't seen Donnie Darko.
Like, there's like this one scene where, I mean, he's basically the kind of angsty teenager, knows a lot of stuff, and he walks next to this girl he met, and she's like, yeah, I have to do that project for school about the biggest inventions of humankind. And he's like, oh, that's easy, antiseptics. And she's like, what? And he starts to give her like a 2-minute rundown on how actually getting basic soap was the greatest invention mankind ever had. And for some reason, that always stuck in my head. When I see soap, I'm always like, I see Donnie Darko in front of me being like, oh, that's easy, antiseptics.
That's it. When I was hearing that recently, it was on a podcast, and the guy was talking about, the anxieties that we still have in society today when we see another group of people who are doing better than us, and we're like, they must have some sort of dark magic which is powering them and all this, that, and the other. And it goes back to evolutionary times where it's just like, these people happen to discover soap. You had to have thought the cavemen around them who saw these cleaner, more beautiful, longer living people were just like, these motherfuckers are worshipping Satan. What the fuck? Like it was such alien technology, and now we have that today where, like, I don't know, like someone takes the vaccine and someone else is just like absolute monsters. Yo, I watched the first few episodes of Dr. Stone. I need to watch more of that. It's a good anime.
Yeah, same. I read the manga. I'm not that much into anime, but I read the manga a while ago. But after some time, it got a bit redundant. I don't know. It was really interesting, but I kind of lost track. I need to revisit it sometime, maybe.
I want to watch more. It's very nicely animated. My plan for the next week is to catch up on Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan. That's my plan.
Okay.
In amongst watching The Sopranos. I'm totally addicted to The Sopranos, as my chat knows, because I keep talking about Gabagool.
Sopranos is also on my list of shame of things to still watch.
It's so good. I came into it like, and it's got a lot of hype. It's probably not worth it. And then I'm 3 seasons in, and I'm just like, can I get another season, please? More. I watched the Mugen Train arc recently, Megs. I need to watch the newest season. So you don't watch much anime? I thought you like.
Nope, not at all. Like,
you have a One Piece mug, so I'm like, is this man big on One Piece?
Yes, I do adore One Piece. I think it's one of the biggest narratives. No, I really, really, really like it. Let's say it like that. And I could go on forever talking about what makes this manga great. But I do read manga mostly. Like, I really enjoy like the art style, etc. And I don't enjoy most anime. I mean, I do get the appeal, I do get the appeal. And when I was younger, I was watching One Piece, like a few episodes in German television as well, and I was super hyped about it. But like nowadays, I don't know, I just feel like it needs to be black and white. That's one thing. Like, I always find the coloring super weird, even though it's the official coloring that the artist, like the inventor of One Piece did himself. But still, that's like weird a little bit, and I don't know, like I just like the artistic detail in manga, and I don't see that as much in most anime. I'm not saying that there's not like artistically nice anime. Like Demon Slayer, for example, I saw a trailer because somebody recommended that as well to me, and it's really well done, you know. It's like on another level than these anime that run like weekly for like 20 years or something, you know.
Your Dragon Balls of the world.
Yeah, and One Piece also, you know. But yeah, I mean, for example, like technically the Ghibli movies, for example, those are anime as well. I really like those, like a few movies or features I really like. I did enjoy the first season of Death Note, even though I like the manga a bit more.
So what's your favorite Ghibli then? If you're
For a long time, for some reason, it was The Castle in the Sky.
Good.
But I can't really tell you why, because if I think about it, it's not the best Ghibli movie, you know. Like, but I really like it for some reason. Like the general idea about that floating thing in the sky, like that difference in how do you say? You know, like the dirty, gritty earth underneath, and then like and stuff like that, and then. I really liked that. It was a little bit different, you know. I mean, of course I like Mononoke, I like Chihiro.
Mononoke is my answer. I fucking
It's pretty high up for me as well, I guess. Close second or something.
There's a song by a band, and when I picture that song, I picture it as Princess Mononoke, because it's like so many of the themes and the lyrics of that song fit perfectly with that film,
nice.
And they just meld into my brain. So good. Spirited Away is fantastic as well.
I actually don't know. I've come across people. I said Ghibli for a long time, and then somebody said it's actually Ghibli. I don't know, because actually it would make sense, because there's like no good. Is there? I mean, there is in Japanese. Yeah, no, there is a good. I have no idea. Yeah, Goku. Yeah, I had to think about that as well. Like, it also makes no sense to write it with an H in Japanese, because that doesn't exist. Like a GH doesn't exist. So no idea what that's about. Let's find out.
But I understand. I love Akira. That's one of my favorite animated films ever. In fact, wait. I haven't.
Okay, so in Japanese it's Ghibli. So in Japanese it's Ghibli. So. Okay, feels like we might be back. Yeah, we're healthy. We're healthy again. I think that was actually a problem with Twitch. Hey, yeah. Zep was lost in the process. I'm sorry to tell you. He's gone. To the toilet. Probably took his phone with him. Phone. So guys, since I do have another appointment in about 40 minutes, I think we can keep the stream going for like 50 more minutes. Then we're exactly at 4 hours, which is crazy. This has passed so fast. So since Seb is not here right now, let me know a little bit. Like, did you enjoy the stream? Because especially since we didn't have anything specific to talk about. I didn't know how this would go. It's way more difficult for me than with my usual streams. To kind of get a feeling on if people enjoyed it, if people thought it was dragging at times or something like that. So if you have anything you want to add, if there's going to be a future installment of this,
hello.
on what to improve, maybe what to do differently, what to keep, let us know. Yeah, I just told them, Zeb, we could go for another 50 minutes probably, then we're exactly at 4 hours of streaming. I feel like that's a good time,
yeah.
and then I can, I can refill my cup and get a little bit settled until I head into that interview.
Yeah, you have a busy evening ahead of you.
Yeah, a busy evening. This is night. It's almost midnight.
I know,
It's at 1:30 midnight. Jesus Christ, what did I?
To be fair, for you right now, this is just evening because you woke up at like 11. So.
Is that true? Wait, what day is it?
It's
Friday? Yeah, it's Friday. Yeah, I streamed at 11. So I think I woke up at around 9:30 or 10.
I woke up at 8:30. So you know, I'm doing okay.
Yeah, you look
day.
so much like I have to admit, like, I mean, I feel fine, guys. Don't worry or anything. But like looking at my face, it's also, I think, because the light is so, as you can see, like my hand is also super bright, you know. So it's also the light coming directly from here. I don't know if
turn your light down.
Yeah,
that's washed you out a little bit.
I mean, that's completely out. Let's see.
I said down, not off.
Okay, so it's, like, this is a little bit better. See, I don't look as bad as you might think. But before I was like, oh shit, I look bad. Especially for that other interview. I mean, that's going to be recorded, right? I have no idea how he does it. If he does it.
So
like
you on his stream for that?
I'm not on stream, actually. We're gonna have a talk, and he's gonna record it, and it's gonna be a YouTube video. So he's got this YouTube series where he's talking to other streamers and musicians, etc., and interviewing them for like 1 or 2 hours. So yeah, I'm not in my best shape for that.
You'll be
Don't
fine.
look bad. You look tired. Yeah, I am tired by now. I am tired, I have to admit. But let's see if I can keep it together to talk a bit of.
We've loosened you up over the course of this stream, so you should be going into it pretty loosey goosey.
Yeah, I think so. Especially during the last 2 or 3 hours. 2 hours, let's say, in the second half of the stream, I really felt like I don't have to think as much anymore about what to say and how to say stuff. So,
you're relying on me, are you?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm glad that all of you guys have enjoyed tonight from what you're all saying.
I'm going through it right now. Main flicked by the fairly high music volume. Oh, I actually turned that a bit up at the half part after 2 hours or so. Okay, good. Thanks for the feedback, Butterhouse.
It's so wild to think we're both in Beijing at the same time. That's just mad.
That's just wild. That's just
so
wild.
Weird. It's so mad.
Like, do you know the exact dates?
I would have I was getting exam results. I think it was like June. Oh no, it was it July? I think I just had my birthday and I got an Xbox 360. So I think it was July something.
I think for me it was May, but I'm not 100% sure. Or was it
maybe
no?
not.
Was it August? Was it August? I think it was August. I think it was August 2008. Yeah. So we missed each other by 1 month or something like that.
Yeah.
Still crazy. Now the music's gone. Yeah.
I wasn't afraid of German people. I had a bad experience with some German ladies, okay?
There we go. It's back. Guten Tag. Don't traumatize him furthermore.
I know, I can laugh about it now. And that's the thing, though. Like, I think you get to a certain age where, like, I remember I think
now
what really
now
helped,
it's the old people talk, guys. It's the old people talk.
I think what really helped me was I started to see memes online where people would be like, it'd be them like wide-eyed, and it would just be like me at 5 a.m. remembering something stupid I did 10 years ago, and I was like, what, other people do that as well? And the second that I learned that, I stopped doing it and I didn't care anymore. I was just like, oh, okay. That's just a normal human reaction.
Oh yeah, Amjassan, please read Amjassan's comment. I would love to hear that as well.
Schmessen Sneins ein Frag des Willens.
Okay, the second hour was pretty good. I love how in the it's something very interesting. Like oftentimes when I hear American actors, for example, or English speaking actors try to pronounce German for some reason in a movie, or they are like, oh yes, I speak German, like the role speaks German, and they speak German to somebody, and I'm like, that's not fucking German. I had no idea what you just said. And I always wonder how that happens, because it sounds so not German. I'm like, how could you read German, even if you, as an actor, you know, you read it, how would you pronounce it like that? And you did something very similar, like in the middle part. Like the first part, like the Schmerzen, that was... But can you say the middle part again? Like, don't worry about doing it wrong.
Sein ein Fragen des Willens.
Okay, yeah. So like that sind... The second is like... So it would be pronounced Schmerzen sind eine Frage des Willens.
Okay.
So... But it's so interesting to see that, especially the first time when you just went over it. Like the sind and eine... Those two words were really difficult because like these EI like these two vowels in a row are super difficult, it seems, to pronounce for native English speakers, because you don't have these sounds like the ow, I, o, like o maybe, but it's really weird that we write that with two vowels, and it's so funny how that always fucks up the pronunciation of native speakers, of English native speakers, completely.
There's a lot of that in film. So like I used to have a friend I used to go to the cinema with quite a lot, and I used to always love going to see a film where they had English speaking actors speak Russian, because she was from Ukraine. So like I would always turn to her and just be like, how is their Russian? And she would just be like, it's fucking terrible. Like, we'd see that film Soul, and it had like Angelina Jolie. I was just like, oh, so how was Angelina's Russian? And she was like, absolutely fucking garbage.
Yeah.
It was just like, I think that happens a lot.
Yeah, it just sounds Russian or German or whatever to other native speakers.
Yeah.
It's basically, I have the same thing with German dialects. Like, I really enjoy sometimes doing like impressions of German dialects, but at the same time I know only the people not speaking that dialect actually will actually see that it's that dialect, and everybody actually speaking the dialect is like, what the fuck are you doing, you idiot?
I think we like, even in like the UK, there's Scots as well, and we used to get a kick out of my work where like we'd hand a book of Scots poetry to like the most English person there and make him read it out, and it would just be like, we'd be like, ha ha ha, the English person can't read Scots. It's like such a typical like human thing to do. Like,
yeah, but I do love Scottish. Like, if it's really bad, I don't understand it either. But for some reason, I really like the sound of Scottish, and also the sound of a Scottish accent if you speak English still, like just the accent, you know.
Yeah.
It's really nice. I had like this couch surfer over for 3 days a few years ago, and he was having that Scottish accent, and after a while I just imitated that accent, and I was like, I hope I don't forget that anymore. I hope it just sticks. Didn't.
Yeah.
I forgot. After 3 days it was gone, but it was really nice.
I used to, because my mum lives in Ireland, I spent all my holidays as a teenager in Ireland. I used to like, I'd end up saying certain words in an Irish accent, and then I'd end up picking up certain like Irish euphemisms, and they just become very natural to me. Like there's something that teenagers at that time, at least, I don't know if they still do it now in Ireland, but they used to call things savage, and I still do it to this day. It just means good. It was like, oh, that was savage.
Yeah.
That was good. And it's just like, it's so many different, it's probably the same in Germany, so many different like English speaking nations use a word in different ways.
Yeah.
And it's always so interesting to like learn these different ways that they use it. It's great.
True that. By the way, I'm just said that was a town near us called, and here's my guess. The first way to pronounce it would be Selby. But it could be Selby, it could be Scalby, it could be Scalby, it could be Scolby. I don't have no fucking clue.
I would say Scalby, but Scalby. That's so in the UK you have all the place names come from different places. They ever come from old Northumbrian Norse naming.
Scorby.
Scorby. Yeah, you know, like, and
Nice.
the way that you pronounce it is different in each one. So there's like
Yeah.
Old Norse, Northumbrian names. There's like Roman names. There's Celtic names, and they're all pronounced slightly differently in their naming. And unless you live there, you would have no idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, how would you pronounce? I'm going to put it in chat.
Yeah,
How
please.
did you pronounce that place?
From? Oh, Frommy? I have no idea.
It is Froome.
Froome? Why?
It seems that we name our places specifically to throw off people who aren't from there.
Yeah, so you can actually know, like, oh, that one's an outsider.
Yeah. Like, we have a place locally to us called Dumfries, but it's, if you spell it out, it'd say Dumfries. If anyone calls it Dumfries, outsider. Get him out of here!
Oh man. By the way, somebody earlier said, can we have foreign languages reading on Discord? How about that? If Zeb is up for it, and we do this here again, let's.
Oh, we could read some for. Oh, I
yeah.
can
Let's do.
Scots.
Let's make it. Let's make
that'd
it.
be fun.
For either we read it or we make it like we just try to both read the same thing or something like that. I don't know, but I'd be up for it. I'd be up for it.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down to butcher some languages.
Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds like we have an idea for another installment of this. If you'd be up for it. So,
yeah, I'm down to hang out again. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I told you, you were like, oh, we don't have any topics, and I was like, yo, we got this.
Yeah,
and
I mean, after getting into it, you know, and after finding like that kind of flow, yeah, really worked
flowed
out.
good.
Alrighty.
Forestro.
In that case, guys, it's been lovely having you. Thank you so much for joining us today on this bit different stream. You know, it's one of these things that are going to be tried out in the future more and more often. So, yeah, Zeb might be back in the living room.
Well, I'm going to go to my own living room now and
Do that.
play with some cats. That's my
Nice.
plan.
Show him some love.
Pussy pets.
Thanks
They
so much,
need it.
Tiny.
Thanks,
First,
Tiny.
though, let's find somebody to rate. Who do we want to rate? Do we want to rate a music streamer?
Do you have anyone who's just chatting?
What do we want to rate? Fred?
You could rate
Just
Fred.
for
He's
the rolls.
wreckfesting.
Yeah, he's wreckfesting. And then just, guys, let's rate Zap. Hey, MG, thank you so much for the 50. Do appreciate it.
Raid me? What?
Rate
You said
Zap.
let's raid Zeb, and I
No,
was like,
let's
what?
not do this. I don't like that guy.
Don't rate Zeb.
Let's raid Fred, and let's all like as a raid call. Let's just ask him when the Wreckfest All-Star tournament will happen.
Oh yeah.
So wait,
When's the All Stars?
Fred, Wreckfest All-Stars when? Let's just let that be the raid call, please. Everybody spam that in chat.
Let me copy that. Poor guy.
Wait, we could even. Wait, is the 5 out of 7 thingy a sub meme or a sub or a follower emote? Ah, that follow meme doesn't work. Okay. In that case, we raid out, guys. You have a wonderful weekend. See you soon.
Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for all joining the experiment.
Yeah, the experiment. The living
We
room
love experimenting
experience,
together.
Basically. You weren't supposed to say that on stream. Anyways, thanks Zeb for actually being here, right?
Thank you for having me.
Great that it's more or less it kind of worked on a very spontaneous level, right? We were kind of like,
Yeah.
let's do it next week. All right.
Yeah, fucking do it.
Let's fucking do
Because
it.
we were chatting. We were just like, people probably wanted to listen to the chat that we just had, and they're like, yeah, sure, let's just fucking make it a stream.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
gonna
good.
happen again. Gonna happen again, guys. This is the part
So
where
add Fred. Annoy
it's-
him.
Yeah, please.
Call him. Tell him how bald he is. I can say that because I am bald.
Okay, that works. Perfect. Oh man.
Yes.
Wait, I have to.
Anyway.
Friends.
I've got him open. He's racing terribly. Really out of his comfort zone.
Good night, Butterhouse.
Good night, Butterhouse. And good night, everyone. Thank you, Z Gang, for showing up. I appreciate you all so
indeed.
much.
Thanks for the living room people who were here. Is that? Oh shit! Did it the wrong one. It's always like that. It's like
it's Fubs, and you're like, oh, doy?
like that.
I think you got it just as it went off.